and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week, another edition here of the SEL, the StarCraft Evolution League Masters number 4, a very special edition of StarCraft Evolution. Ay, 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 papi. Here we go. I'm, of course, your host, VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Whew, welcome one and all to something different, something special, not just the fact that this is a mod, of course. Welcome one and all to StarCraft Evolution. StarCraft Evolution League does feature a mod that does pit together Brood War and SE2 as a face-off in a 1v1 competitive setting, featuring players current to SE2 and even old to SE2 as well. It's great to experience the players themselves facing off. But more importantly, this is a tournament that is going to be featuring the PTR of the proposed changes. Now, there's of course a lot that we did discuss regarding said proposed changes during the podcast last week, and we did decide not to actually bring up the new PTR changes to the podcast this week, or to the mod this week, just because a lot of it was actually based on results and based on games that occurred during this very tournament, during this invitational. Again, this is an 8-player invitational. Sorry, I say 8, I believe 12, I think even. 12-player invitational, and we're going to be going through the initial round of 12. Yeah, 12-player, true. So we're going to be going through the round of 12 here today. This is going to be a 2-day event. Today we have day 1. Tomorrow is going to be day 2, and we're going to be going through StarCraft Evolution with the new balance patch changes. There were so many balance patch changes made to the latest patch. Again, it took us like 2 hours to go through. It was crazy. We went through it during the podcast. It was like a solid 2-hour segment dedicated to StarCraft Evolution. Now we're here to witness those changes here and now. Let us go. Up first, we have a best of 3 between Mang Russell and TaeJa, some Korean on Korean action. Mang Russell, of course, being a Korean Terran player, he actually does compete quite a lot in Stormgate as well. He does compete in multiple different esports. Meanwhile, TaeJa is more dedicated to StarCraft Evolution, less so to SE2. Still competes a little bit in SE2 here and there, but does find a lot more success in StarCraft Evolution instead. As we are jumping into our first best of 3, videos are done, and we are jumping on in. Here we go. Bam. Beautiful. As spawning in the right, oh, okay, got it. In the bottom right corner, do you have the South Korean Protoss player? It is going to be TaeJa. Top left, we do have the South Korean Terran player. It is going to be Mang Russell. Whew, let's go. Now, as a reminder as well, just to be transparent here, this is a replay cast. These matches did occur last week, but not just that, because currently there is no way to update mods in the PTR at the moment. Sorry, update mods on the arcade at the moment. They actually had to go through a unique process to actually play on this PTR, and because of that, I'm not actually observing. I actually don't have the replays. This is a clean feed. Bam. So this is a clean feed of the event. So alas, we do have a different observer here for tonight's broadcast. Despite that, it's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. They do use a different overlay as well, bear that in mind. They do use a slightly different overlay, but overall, we should be able to settle in. It is going to be Prome rocking Brood War Protoss and Mang Russell rocking SE2 Terran. Here we go. So this should also... Make sure everything's looking as it should. So again, going to be a little bit different coverage here of this event, as again, it is going to be by a clean jet. Oh, true, we get to experience the new gateway. Let's go! There were a couple of new models created here for the game, created for this most recent patch, and one of them is the gateway. So great to see the gateway with its new, fresh Brood War model. Likewise, across the map, we are setting up for a proxy. So I'm actually going for the gate cybercore into a proxy across the map. Going to be hyper aggressive here, and we'll see if Mang Russell can keep up. Behind this looks like double gas. Double gas open out of Mang Russell, going racks into factory, into a more tech-heavy start. A safer start, I would say. It looks like the observer just now pointing out, of course, double gases. Going for the initial reactor first, not tech lab, and it is going to be proxy robo. Interesting. So this feels like proxy reaver. Again, you wouldn't proxy robo unless you committed into proxy reaver tech. As the initial Zell does waddle across the map, so far it's going to be shut down. It's going to be kept up with the initial Reaper. So with that Soul Defense, now the downside of what's happening here is that the Reaper is stuck at home, right? The Reaper is stuck at home. The Reaper is not able to move out across the map for a scout, so currently we are in the dark as what's going on. We're in the dark when it comes to the hidden tech. Meanwhile, this is not a one-base all-in. TaeJa, I assumed he was going to commit into a Robo, into a Shuttle, into a Bay, into Reaver, but if you can see here, he's expanding. He's going for the Nexus, he's not going for, he's delaying the Bay, I should say. The Bay just now being thrown down, so that means he's going to be less committed, going to be less aggressive here, and yeah, we'll see how this build turns out. I'm curious. As Reaper does dive in, going to be shut down by the Dragoons. Scan into the main, reveals the Bay, so even though he doesn't see the Robo, he sees the Bay at least. That's also going to be a bit of a tell. He must be thinking, hold up, the Bay is there. I already checked your natural. I just scanned your main. Where exactly is the Robo? It should be somewhere. It must be out on the map. So again, he's slowly piecing together what's going on. Behind this does get the safety Cyclone. Reaver drop is on the way, as we did mention. And we can see Mang Russell playing safe. He's got a Cyclone going into add-on swap into his own double tech lab at Banshee into tank production. Again, this is a pretty aggressive build here from Mang Russell. Very tech heavy here, going into both Banshees and tanks. We'll see what TaeJa can get done with said Reaver drop. We shall see, as the Reaver is still on the way. Again, when it comes to the build itself, remember the Bay was delayed, so the Reaver's later than usual. But it's all slowly coming together here, as you have shuttle speed on the way. Army does move out, and does make its way towards the natural. Does make its way in. Likewise, we do see the initial Banshee moving out. Tank is in position. Reaver Show going for the mineral line. Does get one SCV. Nothing major, just the one. Oh, true. This is another change that they had, is that they did introduce some new music tracks to in-game games, which honestly I'm really excited by. But I think they added the Nova Covodops, they had the Nova soundtrack, and a couple of others as well. As Banshee does get across the map, no Cloak. Yeah, Cloak just now finishing up just in time to start. It comes back too soon. The Banshee does go down. 4 probe kills is okay damage before a Banshee, and Cloak, not worth it. We're looking for more. Meanwhile, the Reaver drop in towards main. The tank is in position. The Reaver gets punished. Despite that, does get 3 SCV kills here in the main, and a late reaction from Mang Russell. Late reaction from the Terran. We have the Citadel on the way, so it looks like we're going from Reaver drop into charge. Or actually, I say charge into Zealot legs. Into a gateway composition. Second Banshee moves out. Remember, Cloak is done, and we're actually continuing Banshee production. Okay. Additional Banshees are on the way here for Mang Russell. But detection is available. Bearing in mind that access to detection was increased here in the latest patch, so it makes it easier to get ready, it makes it easier to set up, to get into observers. That was something done across the board in regards to giving access to detection and allowing players to embrace that a little bit easier from the side of Brood War. That's applicable to all races, to Protoss, Terran, and Zerg. As that's the second starport, and we're still making more. We're going triple starport. Hold on. It looks like the observer, glossed over it, but yes, there's 2 starports right now, making 2 Banshees at a time, and we have a 3rd starport on the way. We're going mass Banshee. Observer goes down. The observer must have seen at least the 2nd starport, but again, that is crazy. And we do see TaeJa respond with Mass Stargate. Okay, we're going into air versus air. We have Hyperflight Rotors on the way for Banshee speed. Remember, we're going Mass Banshee from the side of Mang Russell. Meanwhile, TaeJa has an idea of what's going on and is getting ready for scouts, getting ready for Corsairs. He's working towards it. And again, really important scouting here from TaeJa to confirm what was going on. Meanwhile, 4 Banshees moving out. They're moving out across the map. Reaver drop still hasn't found too much damage. Going for the depot. And it's go time. Banshee's able to hit the third base. Probe's going to be going down. So far, 6 probe kills. They have to respect the Dragoons, but bearing in mind Dragoons are less mobile. They're trying to waddle over. Another worker falls. Oh, Banshee's going back and forth. Banshee's speed is still not yet done. And he's getting caught out. Yeah, he's getting caught out here. A little bit premature. Nice damage, but did overextend. 1 Banshee goes down. 2 Banshees go down. 2 Banshees for 8 workers. That's okay damage, but bearing in mind that we are sacrificing the main army in favor of these Banshees. And now Corsairs are on the way. You know, now that she's getting more secure anti-air. Is more secure. And we can see a switch into bioplay from Mang Russell. He's got 4 more Raxes on the way, but again, these Raxes are so heavily delayed because of the triple starports. Like again, this was a big investment from Mang Russell. He can one-shot probes and he does get 5. But the Corsairs, they bust in. And they shut down the Banshees. So let's get the hell out of there. Have to pull away. Has to pull away, gets 10 workers in total. And again, this bio transition is so delayed. We're just now getting into 1-1 upgrades, just now getting into a, I want to say that's either a 5 or a 6 rack setup. We haven't actually gotten a glimpse of the main base yet, but again, it's switching into mass Raxes. Into bio tank. He's still 2 bases. Now would be the time for TaeJa to expand and get a 4th. To get a 4th base and to build up from here. I would say that this 4th base is late. You can see that instead of a 4th base, is getting 4 more gateways. There we go. Now we get the Nexus, but it's a late Nexus here from TaeJa. I say late. I mean, I guess compared to Mang Russell's economy, it's okay, but ideally would have been faster. Yeah, now we get the pan into the main, and now we see all the Raxes. Banshees, they bust in. And once again, hey, they one-shot. They take down 7 probes. Not bad. Over time, this is getting quite a bit of damage. It's getting quite a bit done. So from here, Reavers, they do bust in. Oh, no! The shot goes off. Full split's not in time. Nice connection. Marine's going to be going down. Likewise, do collapse here on the Cyclones. The lock-on is brutal. Cyclones do fall. And from there, TaeJa does pull away. Again, nice trades from TaeJa. Mang Russell finally claims his 3rd base. Again, the 4th base for TaeJa is late. So economically, Mang Russell is keeping up. He's keeping up with his opponents. Even though he was on 2 bases for so long, it just took so long for TaeJa to expand. So the Terran player is stabilizing. Despite the rocky start, despite the commitment into Banshees, like, he is stabilizing. He was able to get a lot of economic damage done across the map. This is where the units loss tab would be ideal, just to compare, like, worker losses and to compare just trades in general. Regardless, 4th CC is on the way. Mang Russell expanding on location. That's a much faster 4th base from the Terran. And TaeJa's falling behind at this point. Not yet, but he soon will be if he's not able to keep up. Not with the bases, not with the economy. It's my big concern. Nice catch on the Raven. Raven gets pulled out. We have Disruption Web on the way. Storm is being researched, working towards all of that splash damage. Storm, more Reavers. Is diversifying. That she's building up. And we see Mang Russell just walling up here and getting into his own bio tank and Ghost. Ooh, Prism takes a lot of hits. The shuttle does get away. And it's still quite close. Get out of here. Es the shuttle. From here, Mang Russell, he's just very much so securing himself. He's looking to, again, take that economic lead. I would say at this point he does have an economic lead. Oh no! Shuttle goes down. Ay, ay, ay. 2 Reavers as well. I've noticed that we've been, like, spending a little time with the camera on the Protoss side of things. I've noticed. Carriers are on the way. Getting into that Skytools transition. Meanwhile, here comes Mang Russell's main army. And again, Mang Russell, he does have that momentum. He's up in supply. He's up in economy. Storms a little zone. And a ghost. Smack Russell is moving in. Storms, they will attempt to zone. Although the tank stays do see. Tanks, they shut down the storms. They shut down High Templar. Nice disruption webs. Very nice. Disruption was. Oh no! Disruption was in place, but it looks like there is some latency here. Ooh, looks like the STC, he's our Korean caster, is lagging out a little bit, so it feels bad, man. That was not the time. Now, thankfully, this latency isn't really affecting the control of the players, as we were already backing up, but okay, there we go. Jump back in. Destruction web is going to be lasting long enough. Tanks are going down. Nice storm here on the bio. Oh, but TaeJa does pull away. And Destruction Web, it's running out. The tanks, they survived. Tank survived. Charge also going to be forced back, and Mang Russell, he's done it. At this point, he's done it. He's broken through. Without storms to stop him, he will not slow down. Again, the Destruction Webs look good, but there was no follow-up. He had to get on top of the tanks. He had to bring them down, and he failed. Right, he failed to bring down the tanks. Mang Russell forcing his way forward. We do have some. Oh no, the STC. No. Feels bad, man. Feels Korean internet. Much love to the STC. Much love. Oh. But yeah, looks like unfortunately there were some latency issues from the STC side. I mean, despite that, like Mang Russell still breaking through. Nice storm on the tanks. Storm gets one. You have 2 tanks left. And again, TaeJa, he's in a world of hurt here. Now, he still has 2 High Templar instead shuttle, and he will clean up these tanks. But Mang Russell, he just backs off, he consolidates his army, he rotates, and all he has to do is knock down the 3rd. Just time and time again, knock it down. And TaeJa's in a really, really rough position here. Again, TaeJa, I would say that he had a better start, but as we were emphasizing, just really late expansions, really late economy, really late setup there from TaeJa. The army stims in, and from here we can stim, we can win. Storms that don't quite connect. Yeah, they don't quite connect in the end. There's some more storms coming in. They will zone away. Bio army steps forward. He doesn't really have that much anti-air. It's very Marauder heavy, true. Very Marauder heavy, but still breaks through the expansion. Takes out the 3rd base once again. And again, there's just not much to stop Mang Russell. He's just rallying in. We have BCs on the way. Let's go. We have Yamato being researched. We already had the tech labs as well. Getting into his BC production. Does scan, does see TaeJa trying to wall up, trying to set up. We just see Mang Russell rotating once again. With that, takes out another expansion. Takes down another base. Now the carrier count is slowly building up, true. But carriers here on their own, I'm not really too fond of them. They do need support, right? They need Corsairs with Disruption Web. They need Storm support as well. They need that ground army on their own. They don't really mean much. And unfortunately, TaeJa's supply block, again, has been behind economically for the past, like 6 minutes. It's been a really rough mid-game here for TaeJa. Working towards the Maelstrom. Now, there are ways to come back despite being behind supply-wise. With Maelstrom on the way, there is potential to go for, say, a Maelstrom Storm combo and try to look down the Bio Army. The problem right now is that we're taking up, right? The problem is that it's no longer just going to be about that Bio composition, it's going to be about the BCs. And there's less of an answer for battle cruisers. They can come in, they can Yamato, they can overwhelm. The best answer to that would be, I would imagine, to try to mind control the battle cruisers. That would probably be the best bet. bearing in mind that Maelstrom does not affect mechanical units. Bjarni found that at the hard, Dark found that at the hard way. So remember that, they only affect biological. As Marines, they stim in, they take out another base, another expansion. And again, at this, he just can't stop these bases from going down. Here we're trying to settle in. Maelstrom has been finished researching, but the BCs have been scouted. I say that just now. The Observer does spot the battle cruisers. That's a lot of BCs. Now we get, as we mentioned, like, mind control is probably the best response to BC, but because the scout was so late, that's why mind control is so late as well. So unfortunately, like, this is all just quite late tech here. Mang Russell is maxed out. He's pushing up with both armies. Decent storm, very nice storm. Jesus. Mang Russell does run into the storms. The Armadas, they pop up. GG gets pulled, and Mang Russell takes game number 1. GG. Mang Russell does take a lead in the series. Again, as you mentioned, Ateshi, he actually had a really nice start. I actually preferred Ateshi's early game when it came to building up, containing his opponent, defending his bases. Like, I wasn't opposed to it, but as we mentioned, it took him a really long time to actually claim a 4th base. On top of that, he was also losing a lot of workers to said Banshees as well, but his economy was lackluster. We saw that as he was getting a 4th, the 3rd was already up and running, and the 4th base was already on the way for Mang Russell. Like, Mang Russell just overwhelmed economically, and with that was able to build up a greater army as well. Despite the shaky start, like, again, remember, Mang Russell, he opened up triple starport mass Banshee. It was crazy. Like, his transition into bio was late, but he didn't get punished for it, right? He didn't get punished for that late transition, didn't get punished for only working with 1 ranks for so long as well. It was an awkward transition into the mid game, but once he got there, that's where he thrived. That's where Mang Russell did thrive. GG, well played. Impressive play there by Mang Russell. And again, Ateshi, he did kind of stumble in his kind of lead up into said longer game, into said mid game. GG. GG, well played. So getting in. I'm just catching up with the chat. Okay. Corsairs were nerfed recently. They were nerfed in regards to their splash damage. So now, if I recall correctly, now it takes a couple of extra Corsairs to achieve the same amount of damage as they did previously, which I'm not opposed to, which I think is probably a good change. There we go. Those dragoons look like walking onions. Oh no. What kind of onions are you eating, Pappy? Oh no. Scouts didn't quite yet haven't found a place in the meta, haven't they? I would say they have. I would say for quite some time now, Scouts the Scout is one of those units that has been tinkered with quite a lot throughout the course of the StarCraft Evolution lifespan, to the point where now they do a little better, of course, as a harassing unit. You could argue they were maybe scaled a little bit too hard or too far, and I know that they winded back the Scouts a little bit just because of their ability to kite, like in PvT, and kite Terran units like Marines and like Cyclones as well. So I think they toned back the Scouts a little bit in the recent patch. But yeah, it's found its place when it comes to worker harass. It's been the case for quite some time now. Storm is really good when you work your entire ground army into it. Yeah, true. I mean, the storms were good, but as we did mention, like, the storm was placed ahead of time, and then the arm just kind of rallied in. So yeah, that did help at least a little bit towards the end. Regardless, though, we're getting into game 2. We're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Again, Mang Russell does take a lead in the series, and we'll see how we do change our approach here coming into that second game. As our eye is going to be on TaeJa. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we do have our South Korean Terran player. It is Mang Russell. Meanwhile, bottom right, we do have the South Korean Protoss player from among us two people. It is TaeJa. Jesus. Hyper 1 is less time than Indie Pack. It's crazy. It's crazy. There we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. That's what players are building up. Oh, well, I says Este Tavo. That was not here. He's not here. What are you talking about? Oh, no. But now, though, we don't have initial openers. It is going to be a more economic start here from TaeJa, going for a Nexus first build. Likewise, we do have Mang Russell opening up with his own, I would imagine, Rax Expand. Bearing in mind the last game, we did have a double gas opener, but yeah, we did have a double gas opener. Once again, I should emphasize that TaeJa is rocking Brood War Protoss, and Mang Russell is once again rocking SE2 Terran. It is loser's pick. It is loser's pick. In regards to who does compete, or in regards to our chosen races. What am I listening to right now? Oh my god. Yo, we in the jungle. So something that I brought up previously, I'll bring up once again, which is applicable here. Did you just turn off the music? Okay. We're back. But the recent change to the latest patch, of course, to the PTR, is that they added a lot of soundtracks. They added like a lot of SE2 soundtracks even as well, not just Brood War. One that came to mind to me was the Nova soundtrack, the Nova Covert Ops. They added that soundtrack to the in-game games, and they added some other more obscure ones as well. I don't have a full list, but I appreciate it just because these are soundtracks you don't get to experience in multiplayer. Just because they're typically like one and done for like a certain mission or a certain DLC pack, which I appreciate. Whether some are more out of place than others, we're about to experience ourselves, right? But I do like it that they increase the soundtracks for the in-game music. As is going to be a Stargate opener here out of TaeJa. Oh my god, TaeJa, calm down. Calm down, Bobby, calm down. Likewise, Reaper pokes in. A Reaper to get a full scout of the main base is aware. We do have a safety cyclone. That is going to be a second factory. Okay. So remember, last game, Mang Russell, he went triple starport production, which was crazy. This time, double factory into Macfill accelerators into Battle Mech. Okay. So Battle Mech is on the way here from Mang Russell. As initial Reaper is going to be shut down. It's going to be a scout-based opener here out of TaeJa. I hate we were just talking about it, about how for quite some time now, scouts, they have, I should say, Stargate openers have been a little bit more trendy, or at least have been rising in popularity and sprinkled in throughout a bunch of matchups to scout, to harass. But they have to be wary of said cyclones. As we are massing them up, making 2 cyclones at a time. For the time being, I remember TaeJa is in the dark. TaeJa is not aware of what's going on. He has not scattered across the map, not yet. And that's what the scout is for. Let's go. Scout does move out. Now again, he does know what he's walking into, so if he's not too careful, he can get caught up by the cyclones. Yeah, Cyclone has arrived. Scout does spot it. Thankfully, we'll break the lock-on. Lock-on is broken. Scout does pull away. We do have a gateway follow-up behind this. We have 4 extra gates. It's going to be 5 gates in total. was done. Building up. To appreciate that at least that she's taking his third base. Ooh, Mang Russell does move out. Cyclone will be enough to defend. Yeah, Cyclone does defend the mineral lines at the same time. The Marine Army is moving out, and we're looking for the third. Ooh, only one Cyclone. Nice repair. Ooh, I say that. There's a scan. Takes out one of the scouts. Scout does full. A nice repair here on the Cyclone. And here come the Marines. Again, we already have our first two, soon to be three Cyclones across the map. Ooh, one gets caught out. Late reaction out of Mang Russell. Despite that, the Cyclones, they survive. Ay, ay, ay. That is brutal. They had so much DPS to the army. They force them back. Thankfully, there's 3 shield batteries. Scout is moving in. The Cyclones, oh, they just kite too well. Oh my god, they kite so well. Scouts, they get shut down. Ay, ay, ay. And the Cyclones, they're barely out of range. I say that, they do commit. Cyclone's going to be going down. Nah, they trade well enough. Yeah, they trade well enough. Dragoons, they get bullied back. They overextend. Shuttle will help with the control. He can break the lock-ons. Oh no, the shuttle down! Oh my god, shuttle goes down. Brutal pickoff, and on the one hand, that she does save the expansion, he does save the third, but he lost so many Dragoons. I mentioned this earlier about showing the units lost type in the first game. Here would be a nice moment as well to keep an eye on how many Dragoons did exactly go down. I want to say around like 6 or 7 Dragoons. Cyclones are still trying to hold their own. As two of them do get targeted down. Catching out 2 more Dragoons. And again, there's still some brutal trades here for TaeJa. Does hold his own though, does defend, does force the army back. Behind this, working towards a Citadel, working towards a more gateway heavy composition. We have Reaver production now underway, bearing in mind that the reason why Reavers are so delayed is because of the initial Stargate opener, which I would say wasn't quite worth it here. The harass across the map was very minimal. Mang Russell shut it down very nicely with his Cyclones, and even caught out the scouts. So the initial scout opener with 3 scouts, it was a big investment. In the end, I want to say it kind of hurt TaeJa more than anything. At least he was able to scout the Cyclone move out, that is true, but even then, it was quite a costly kind of moment for him. As now he's working towards Reavers, now he's working towards shuttle speed to be able to harass across the map. Remember, all this is delayed, and Mang Russell has more time to build up again into Stim, into +1. No third CC yet. So our eyes are on Mang Russell. And I just mentioned something that I should actually bring more attention to here. He's switching to Buyer. So it's actually quite similar to last game. If you remember, what did we see last game? Last game we had a triple starport mass Banshee with Banshee speed with hyperflight rotors, and then into a late switch into Buyer. Here's something similar, double factory magfill accelerator Cyclone into Buyer. Like he has been, Mang Russell I should say, has been committing quite hard early on and then switching into Buyer both game 1 and game 2. It's an interesting style. I would say that I actually like this setup more than last game. I think I would argue that the Cyclones actually achieved a little bit more damage than the Banshees last game. I mean, the Banshees did end up killing like 16 probes in total. Sure, they got a lot of economic damage over time, I suppose. So it's a little bit different when it comes to the damage that they dealt. But I'm quite fond of the amount of map control that we've got in. Oh my god, we just pulled the boy, let's go! I was gonna say I'm quite fond of the amount of map control that Mang Russell's gotten because he killed so many Dragoons. Because that TaeJa's been stuck at home, TaeJa's getting a 4th base, TaeJa's expanding, and TaeJa has not seen this. The observers do fan out, but he has not seen the move out. He doesn't know the all-in is coming until now. Yeah, now he sees. Now he does spot the all-in, and it's gonna come down to the Reaver shots. Gonna come down to the control. Even then, the army is lacking. Shot going off, nice blitz. Picks up 4 SCVs. Ooh, the Dragoons are getting caught out. Yeah, they're getting caught out. Nice spread. Tanks a zone away the Reavers. Reavers are going to be zoned away. Mang Russell moving in. Zell's taking them in from behind. And so far they get 1, they get 2 tanks. 2 tanks going down. Dragoons, ooh, they pay the price. Reaver shot going up. And again, they're mainly connecting with SCVs. Oh no! Oh, nice retargeting. Very nice connection towards the end. But the Reavers are going down. There's 1 Reaver left. Oh, 2 more pop outs. They will zone Mang Russell away. He does have to pull back. And pulls back, rotates over towards the third. Reaver's going to be coming in. They do connect on the Cyclone. Ooh, but the shuttle goes down, and then, yeah, they're gone. They're gone at this point. Reavers, they get left behind. There's one Reaver left. And Mang Russell, he has broken through again. At TaeJa, he once again had a bit of a rougher start, rougher early game. He, of course, was expanding, getting a fourth base. All the tech was late, all the tech was delayed. Reaver goes down. Oh god, the choke point is insane. SimCity working against TaeJa, yeah. As they'll say, file into tank fire, Robo goes down. And with that, Mang Russell, he does break the natural. Does break through the natural base. Another Reaver popping out. And again, nice control so far by Mang Russell, just avoiding those scarab shots. Does avoid the Reaper connections up for the most part. As he will live well. Will live well. Dives on the shuttle, dives on the Reaver. No production left. It looks like with the boys being pulled, I mean, TaeJa, he can try to get on top of the tanks here. But Liberation has the right. There's too much freedom. There's too much freedom. GG gets called, and Mang Russell, he will take game number 2 in the series, 2-0. GG. I will lower the volume a little bit. It's quite loud. But GG, well played. Mang Russell will claim the series. Winding it back, again, it was just a really rough start from TaeJa. Did open Stargate, did open Triple Scouts, but they didn't really achieve too much. And as we were mentioning, because of the Scout-based opener, because of the Stargate opener, it meant that the Robos were delayed, the Reavers were delayed, the Shuttle was delayed. And because he didn't reinvest into additional Scouts, he had nothing across the map to scout or to slow anything down or to deal any harassing damage. He was moving out with his shuttle. As a reminder, when the All-In was coming, he was moving out with the shuttle to go for some Reaver harass, but again, by then it was too late. The All-In was already coming. The All-In was already on the way, and with that, Mang Russell does overwhelm. GG well played. A lot of that just came down to lack of scouting, lack of information that TaeJa had. Again, because of the earlier losses, that's why he was blindly expanding, that's why he was blindly taking up. He was not aware of how much danger he was in. GG well played. I think it was a really good call for Mang Russell to pull the boys. Like, because of how well the early game went for him, like, it was a really good call as well, just because he was somewhat aware that the scouting or the realization would be quite late. With that, we're getting into our next series. We're getting into our next matchup here. We're going to be jumping into our best of 3 between Rare Breed and ZaRDieNT. Let's go. Let us go. As in the top left-hand corner, we do have ZaRDieNT, top left-hand corner of Maganatha. In the bottom right, we do have the Korean Zerg player. It is going to be Magic Turtle. Sorry, this is going to be Rare Breed. There we go. These 3 low cyclones lasted so long. They did. It was really unfortunate how there were 2 and then 3 cyclones that were one shot away from going down, that were gaining so much value. Again, they killed so many Dragoons in the early game as well. Like, there's a lot that came into play, right? Not just the opener and not just the shutdown of the scouts, but also, right, like the efficiency of the cyclones and how well they snowballed out of control, how well they traded. But with that, we are going to be settling in to our ZVP. Bottom right, we do have our StarCraft 2 Zerg player. Meanwhile, top left, we do have ZaRDieNT rocking the Brutal Protoss. You guys have Magic Turtle more often, but Magic Turtle is a generic battle tag preset, so I try to avoid using it on the media. Yeah, I would love to know what he prefers. I'll call him what he prefers. Is it Rare Breed? Is it Magic Turtle? Would it be nice to know. It's like with Kiwian, right? Like, Kiwian, he kind of left top by the wayside, which is why we call him Kiwian instead. Here we go. So now we do have our initial hatch gas pool. Standard opener here out of our Zerg player. Star does open up Robo, okay. Something more, do I want to say standard or something more common here? Robo-based opener, no fancy Stargate play, not this time. So the magic turtle from Dave's chat? I would imagine not. Imagine not. Different turtle. So Hype One, do you know what he prefers? Or does he like not care? which is also sometimes the case for some players. If he prefers Rare Breed or Magic Turtle. Until then, oh my god, that's going to be a 3-minute lair. Jesus. 3-minute lair timing here out of our Zerg player. I mean, this can lead a couple different ways. If we take extra gases, this can lead into 2-base Muta. Otherwise, we could even go towards a Nidus-based all-in as well. But a very tech-heavy start here out of our Zerg player. Meanwhile, we do have, again, our Reaver drop opener. This is something that we're a little more used to, something that we've seen plenty of times here in said matchup. Not just this matchup, but even other matchups as well. Yeah, getting there. Second gas is on the way. He prefers Magic Turtle, or rather... Okay. Magic Turtle. Alright. Cool. I'll change the title to that. Yeah, all good, all good. Just comes down to whatever he prefers, right? I mean, if he prefers Rare Breed, then that's all we'll call it. But yeah. As for the time being, though, the initial drop is moving out across the map. Meanwhile, we did mention the 3-minute lair timing, and it is going to be for 2-base Muta. Spire is on the way. Cheeky build here by our Zerg player, by Magic Turtle. But we'll see if he gets scouted. We'll see how he defends against said Reaver drop. The Queens are getting in position. Reaver making his way towards the main base. Queens are going to be waddling in, and... we'll see how well we can connect. So far, the shuttle takes... Oh, no! He doesn't overextend. The shuttle takes a lot of hits, and no target firing, though. Yeah, oh. Doesn't retarget. The shuttle does get away, but he will lose the Reaver. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, brutal loss there for Starat. Late reaction out of our Protoss player. Did heavily overextend, and at least he survived with the shuttle, but he lost everything else. Did lose everything else. Oh, accidentally walled himself in as well. Feels SimCity, man. And what's the scariest thing about what just happened isn't just that he lost the Reaver drop, that he lost his army, but he didn't scout the natural. Remember, he was deflected at the main, so he has no idea that the Spire is on the way, that mutas are coming. He doesn't know. Assuming that he didn't slip anything in. I'm assuming that's the case. Did go for a Stargate follow-up into Scouts with the seconds. Okay, it feels like he scouted. So I do apologize if I did miss that. But it does look like he's aware. I mean, sorry, he saw the lair. True, he at least saw the lair, and now he knows for certain. Now he does know for certain. Mutas, they do push in. Either we'll catch out the Scouts. Scout does go down. Nice pick off here. Oh, it's a very risky here to move in with the shuttle once again. Zelt's going to be going down. There's nothing in the bases to defend. Oof, and this is getting out of hand already. Probes are going down. Nice Reaver connection in the main, or in the natural. Nice Scarab shots. Scouts are amassing. Lings 8 bust into the main. More drones going to be falling, but the probes are going down so fast. Oh god, 21! And that's just game-ending damage. That's just critical damage here. Reaver towards the main base. We'll get one more Scarab shots. We get an okay connection, but just the one. And with that Magic Turtle, I was gonna say something about him being too slow, but now he's... oh no. Too quick for Star. Does bust into the main base. 34 probe kills. And again, this is just critical damage here. Just a really rough start for Starads when it came to the initial Reaver drop, when it came to the follow-up scouting. was just a rough start. And things have very quickly snowballed out of control. Sure, the scouts are kiting as best they can, but there's no shield battery, right? There's no defensive support here. GG, and Magic Turtle, he will take game number 1. GG. Does take a lead in the series again. Like, it just initially it came down to the execution of the builds here. Like, it wasn't just of course the shutdown of the Reaver job. He was also locked into his own bases. That was also disrupting any kind of ground harass that he wanted to go for as well, so it was a little bit shaky there. It means that he couldn't quite expand either. And again, I'm pretty sure he was not aware of the Spire. We did see a second Stargate, we did see scouts amassing, but even then, as we saw, like, they struggled against the mutas, and there was no cannons, there was no shield barriers, no defensive setup in the middle lines either. Leads me to believe that, again, he wasn't fully aware of what was going on and wasn't quite ready for it. GG. GG, well played. With that, Magic Turtle will take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend that lead, or if he can claim the series, or if StarRat can tie things up. Let's go. As we're getting into our next game, as we're getting into game número 2. Yo, this jungle music. Every time. In the top right hand corner here, we do have the red Protoss. It is going to be StarRat from the land of Taiwan. And in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. It is going to be Magic Turtle. Here we go. I think Raiden can do a comeback from this, maybe. Now, you're thinking of Clem. You're thinking of the Protoss player. True, true. I wish there was a hotkey in game. Obviously, I don't wish for this to be a priority or be added to the mod in any way. It would be nice if there was a hotkey that you could press to see the song being played at the time. I would love that. Especially if we're doing stuff like this, where we're like adding a bunch of different soundtracks, adding a bunch of different music. That'd be fun. For now, though. We are going for the Gate Expand, standard setup here out of Stars. Welcome, of course, to Vermeer, a 4-player spawn map. And of course, we are checking here for spawn locations. True, I should also emphasize that if this is on the PTR, then there has been a change to 4-player spawn maps, because previously to this, you typically get pings. You get pings at 2 possible spawn locations, but now I believe there's only a 50% chance that you get pinged, depending on whether you're close or cross spawns. Like they've added like a bit of an asterisk to that. They've adjusted like those pings and the ability to be notified of where your opponent is. I believe it's, if I recall correctly, if it's close spawns instead of diagonal spawns, then there's a 50% chance that you get notified of that. And what I should say is it eliminates the diagonal spawn as an option as a ping, from my memory. So there's been a couple of changes. Forge. Okay. Gate expand into a Forge out of StarRat. Interesting. Into a Stargate opener. Okay. So faster Forge, a little bit of a later Stargate here. Once again, we're going to be opening up, or I say once again, for the first time this series, we're going to be opening up with a Scout, but we're going to have the Forge, I guess, for defense, for early game cannons, just in case, just to be safe and secure. Speaking of, Lings are amassing. It's a lot of Zerglings. We're rushing into +1 attack. +1 attack is on the way. We do have access to cannons if need be. And Lings, they should be looking to surround the initial Stellar. Stargate into Robo. This is very tech heavy, actually. Okay, yeah, you have my attention. It's the StarRat. I believe there's now a 50% chance that if your opponent's at near spawn, it will ping up both close locations. Yes, that's it. So specifically, if you're not a diagonal spawn, like there's a 50% chance it'll let you know that. You know, Lings, they do move out across the map. Behind this, we're trying to set up another wall. Scout is on the way. Zelda's going to be shut down. Yeah, Zelda will fall. The Cyber Core is exposed. And unfortunately, StarRat didn't see this. We're just link flooding. StarRat, he did not confirm the link flood. He did not confirm the lack of workers. He had a Zealot at the 3rd location, seeing that there was no expansion. But this is getting out of hands. and there's no way to stop this. Unfortunately, there's just nothing here. The gateway is going to go down, so 0 production. There's no way to warp in reactively, of course. The cannon is on the way, and the wall is somewhat sturdy, but it's going to take a long time for that scout to actually kill everything. Oh boy. Oh no! So it gets surrounded. The cannon is done. Cannon does complete. There's another cannon behind this. Cannon will eventually go down. Second cannon does finish. ZaRDieNT, he's somewhat holding on here. He's somewhat holding. The Lings, they're breaking through the pylon. They will eventually get on top of the cannon. There's another cannon, another 2 cannons on the way. Again, thankfully ZaRDieNT had that forge. If it wasn't for the forge, he'd be dead. Like, for sure. Like, the forge put in a lot of work. The cannons as well, but Lings, they do flood in. Now they're pushing towards the main. There's still 1 cannon left, going for the cannon. Likewise, does not target down the workers, but he eventually will. Yeah. Now going for the probes. He has taken over control of the natural. Getting on top of the gateway. How many kills does that 1 scout have? There we go, 31. 31 kills, man. Yeah. 31 kills on the scouts. I mean, hey, it's getting up there. It's doing what it can. But the natural will fall. The natural does fall. Likewise, all these pylons are exposed. So it can just kill these pylons. And back at home, we do see Magic Turtle droning. Now he's droning up, now he's saturating, Lair is on the way. Now I will say that the drone count is still very low, so we're in a kind of a weird position here, where on the one hand, 76 Zerglings did go down, but he does contain his opponent to 1 base. And because of the wall, he's stuck on 1 base until he breaks out himself. Is going to be contained. I believe there are 2 scouts, right? I believe there's 2 scouts. There is 1 shuttle and there's a reaver in production. Yeah, 2 scouts. So there's a way to harass, of course. Queens are getting in position, and we'll see what ZaRDieNT can get done. We'll see if he can pull off a comeback here and do some kind of harassing damage. Ooh, meanwhile, Magic Turtle going for the 2 base TaeJa. TaeJa is on the way. Pylons are being shut down. Go. Behind this, Hydras are building up. Oh. Likewise, stuttering in. Ooh, brutal connections. 7 drones going to be going down. 12 drones even. Okay. Let's go. ZaRDieNT with a comeback. Oh god. Oh, as the shuttle takes a little damage. Does get away. Does put in time. Jeez, the shuttle does get very, very low though. Down to 7 HP. Get out of here, Pappy. Get out of here. You're playing with fire. Oh my god. Oh, as it looks like the Reaver's going to be abandoned. Yeah, it's going to be abandoned. There's no saving it. Oh god. Oh, never mind. Okay. Let's go. That pickup range. I think it's 1 pickup range. It does pull away. Just barely in time. And we have a game. Like, we have a game here at this point. I still give the edge to Magic Turtle at least a little bit when it comes to his base, but remember, his story base is delayed, his droning has been delayed as well. But ZaRDieNT, he's still in this. Oh, good. Here we go. We are setting up as one of the scouts does go down. We can see the Magic Turtle, he does drone up to just under, yeah, around 2.5 base saturation. It's a decent economy. Once again, does. Oh my god, takes some Reaver shots to the face. Oh, but the shuttle finally goes down. Yeah, shuttle falls, Reavers as well. Starts getting a little bit too cheeky there with his micro, with his army. These are expensive losses. Bearing in mind, there's nothing else on the ground. There's no gateway units here. Like, this is the army. 2 scouts and a Reaver. Oof. Scouts are going down. And against Sard, he was close to stabilizing if his opponent was more passive. Reaver falls. Reaver falls. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, this is just critical damage. This is critical damage at this point. Again, it was impressive harassment, but there was just nothing else on the ground. There was no support. At least not yet. And with that magic turtle collapsing in. Breaking the natural base for the second time, and this time he has enough to keep going. This time, like, he has enough to break completely, to push into the natural and also push in towards the main. And to overwhelm. But again, shout out to Snarrat for his unit control, for his ability to actually, you know, claw his way back into this and retake his natural, but like, still not quite enough. Not quite. We have 2 more rovers on the way, going to triple rover production. So another shot goes off. Oh my god. Magic Turtle, calm down. You got the Ursid on. What an animal. And the one thing keeping started in this is, of course, his shuttle control, which is why we're now going for a Spire. We have 9 muses on the way. That's a way to just securely shut down the shuttle and to stop the harassment. Behind this is no more scouts, no Corsairs. Nothing in the sky, not yet. And the mutas aren't coming. Go. As soon as they hit the main, and GG gets called. that's kind of what we were waiting for there, but GG gets called, and with that, Rare Breed, aka Magic Turtle, will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG well played. A much shorter series here, some really fast games is what I will say. I guess this game did last a little bit longer, but really intense and really low eco. Really low eco, a lot of aggression, a lot of hyper aggression and all-ins, both in game 1 and in game 2. And with that, we saw that Rare Breed or Magic Turtle able to take it, able to overwhelm. GG well played. Didn't really get to see too much out of our 2 players here. I mean, it was still an impressive game though, what I will say. Like, I almost believe that maybe the cannons would finish up and would be able to defend the natural, but barely not able to. Not quite in the end. GG well played. And with that, we are getting ready for our next matchup here. This time we're going to be following our players into the quarterfinals. Bam, let's go. As in the top left-hand corner, we do have our Korean Zerg player. It is Magic Turtle. And in the bottom left, we do have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Dice. So we have Magic Turtle rocking Broodor Zerg and Dice rocking SC2 Terran. Okay, so we have our TVZ. Great shuttle micro has nothing to be ashamed of. 100%. It was definitely like keeping him in that game, for sure. Like the shuttle harass, and of course the connections that we were able to see, the saving of the shuttle as well with that. The saving of the Reavers as well with his shuttle. It's very impressive. Max X would be proud. I would say Classic and Hero would be proud, for sure. Classic and Hero. We have seen, we have already casted Max X play StarCraft Evolution, and he's still got a ways to go. Still got a ways to go. If he commits, so we'll see. We'll see if that will be the case. Snow would be, there you go, there you go. That's more fitting, maybe. Shuttle, oh, all the Broodor memes. Shuttle will be proud? Nah. Rain would be proud. Nah. We have our own biases on this channel. Big Rain fans. Always. For now, though, we are getting in. We do have our initial macro hatchery here from Magic Turtle. Nothing too crazy. Hatch gas pool is taking both gases. That is a little bit more crazy here, as Dice is going to be setting up his own bunker in between the bases. Is now going to be spotted by the hatchery. Is now aware. As Reaper is zooming across the map. Boys are being pulled. Can we get on top of that SCV? The Reaper has arrived. So far, does kite well. Spore is on the way. And we'll see how many losses we do have here. One drone does finally go down. Gets one so far. And with that, Magic Turtle defends. Yeah, he does defend. The bunker will not finish. Oh, he was... Oh no, the second drone. Second drone goes down. Does overextend. A third drone even. Oof, this is getting out of hand. 3 drone kills. And the Reaper does make it past the initial colony. Gets 3 drones. And does even pull away. So again, nice control here from Dice as second Reaper has arrived. Behind this, getting into zone at third CC before starport. Economic follow-up here out of Dice. Dips into the main. And this is very quickly here, getting out of hand here. More lanes going to be falling. Hydrogen is done. Hydras, they will shut this down, but how many more losses here? Going for more drones. And there's nothing to stop him. Yeah, there's nothing. He just going to the mineral line. More drones falling. Hellions, they bust into natural. Staying on the low ground though. Doesn't quite commit. Camping the larva instead. Takes down some larva. I'm gonna hear just being so annoying with these Hellions. Forcing out more colonies just to survive, just to hold on, just to maintain this position. I do appreciate that Magic Turtle is working on, always relying on side defense here. Isn't afraid to throw some down. Otherwise, he will be overwhelmed. Yeah, as we're just pointing out the efficiency. Again, barely anything has fallen outside of canceling the bunker. So Reaper is finally going to be shut down. Despite that, still killing more drones. A third drone goes down towards the end. Brutal damage. And remember, behind this, Dice, he got a third CC. Remember, he has a third base already. So from here, he can expand. He can work towards a greater economy. He has mules, of course, as well. So Dice does have a lead. Does have the economic lead. Soon-to-be army lead as well. Liberators have arrived. Oh, this is a brutal position. No high ground. No, there's no high ground vision. Yeah, no high ground. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, without the Overlord, he cannot deal with this. Overlord is moving in. Oof. I mean, this is a really brutal cliff face right next to the natural. The Spore does finish. And working towards that Stim timing. Stim has begun. We have our 2 E-Ways. That's going to be for 1-1 upgrades. Dice did invest quite heavily here into these Hellions just to maintain map control. And this is a standard 5 racks follow-up. So getting towards, or working towards said 5 racks. Magic Turtle doesn't really have much going his way. He has some Hydras, that's true, but the tank count is quite solid here. He's got the tank on the high ground. He has his bunker here, tank on the low ground as well. Oh god, he does take the tank shots to the face. Immediately he's deflected. The Hydras, they can't get anything done. Not like this. Yes, it's coming from inside the house. That's still one of my favorite clips from the channel. Ah, good times, good times. Hydras are pushing. Again, still massing more Hydras. The lair has only just begun, bearing in mind that without a lair, we have no access to lurkers, so no lurker tech. Happened to all of us, even lied sometimes. I think during the last StarCraft Evolution League cast, there was a game where there was a robot opener and I was just like assuming Reaver drop, but it was an SE2 Protoss. I think it was on Holy World. I think on Holy World we were casting like a PBT. And I was just assuming Reaver drop, and then like a little bit later I realized, oh wait, it's SE2 Protoss. So I had to completely like change kind of like the trajectory of the build and what we were assuming. I think that happened like maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. Or it was the other way around, maybe. Where it was a robot opener, we were talking about like Colossus based openings, and then a shuttle started, and I was like, oh right, it was like it was one or the other. But that did happen last night. For now, though, again, Dice is looking very comfortable. He's very comfortable on 3 bases. Likewise, Draw Play is going to be keeping Magic Turtle busy. As he does pin down those drops. Rotating back towards the 4th, towards the 3rd even. Very nice catch, though. Nice catch on the medevac. Medevac goes down. Behind this, working towards the Queen's Nest. Lurker tech is on the way. Like, Magic Turtle, he's slowly, like, trying to recover here, but there's so much to recover is the problem. Like, Dice has such a massive lead, a massive advantage. He's now pushing out. Not good. And without Lurkers, I don't know if Magic Turtle can hold. Remember, he has no splash damage, there are no Banelings. There we go, Lurker production has begun. He's got 2 Lurkers on the way. Tanks to siege. Just gonna be forced back. It's pushing forward. One thing I don't doubt is that Dice was a StarCraft pro. I mean, we know that he was a StarCraft 2 pro. Like that is known. He is known. He's got a Wikipedia page out there somewhere. I'm telling you, it's Forte. So he's pushing in. Lurker's trying to rush forward. Some of them going to be going down already, though. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh god! Brutal surround. GG gets called as Magic Turtle will lose everything, and Dice takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, just a really rough start there for Magic Turtle. He had a really rough opener as he was being bullied early on by the Reapers. I mean, it also accentuates one of the weaknesses here of Brutal Zerg is without a queen, or without queen defense, your defensive position here is quite weak. Outside of, if you're out of range of your own spine crawlers, I should say, or sunken colonies, so you can bypass that, you can head into the bases. I guess this is also map specific as well, just because there are certain maps that have much more secure bases and have less Reaper cliffs to actually move into and actually abuse. That is also true, right? Like a lot of the Brutal maps do have limited kind of Reaper accessibility here. But here on Ramir, we saw the Reaper was able to rush past, able to get in, and a little chaos early on. And with that Dice, he thrived in the chaos. GG. GG well played. Does overwhelm and does pull Magic Turtle apart. With that, we are now getting into game number 2, and we'll see what map we're going to be loading into as well. Again, we'll be curious if we can see Magic Turtle have a much more secure early game, and likewise, we'll see if he does embrace Brood War or SE2 Zerg as well. Remember, it is loser's pick. It is loser's pick here, so it's going to be up to Magic Turtle to pick and decide how he wants to play this out. Here we go. Go. As we are getting ready here for our second game. Beautiful. And game 2 is going to be on Maganath. We've seen a lot of games on Maganath and Vermeer today. We haven't had a lot of variety, but in the top left-hand corner, we have our Korean Zerg player, Magic Turtle. And in the bottom right, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean and Brood War Terran player. It is Dice. So we have a Brood War Terran against SE2 Zerg this time. Okay, the roles have been reversed. We're also going to be loading into the largest map in the map pool, or one of the largest maps in one of the larger maps in the map pool here as well. Longer rush distance by ground. I would imagine that Magic Turtle is going to be a little more comfortable coming into Magnatha instead, and we'll see how Dice or what he brings to the table when it comes to his Brood War Terran. Again, when it comes to Dice's games, we have only had some limited access to his games. Like he competed in the StarCraft Evolution show match previously, the STC show match, but outside of that he hasn't necessarily been regularly competing in StarCraft Evolution tournaments. I know that recently changed. I want to say he played in the most recent King of the Hill, or I might be thinking of TaeJa, or I might be thinking of both of them, but they've recently been playing a little bit more as of late. But in general we still have a limited data set here on what Dice brings to the table. So I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Let's go. As of course it was looking very good and very strong against Shin. True. And a really fun series against him. Ah, I see in the chat. These are the only maps that worked with the workaround at the time. I see. Saying at the time does sound like maybe since then other maps have kind of been introduced into the map pool to be played on. But that makes more sense. I was like, why would people play on Magnatha? I was like, what's going on? Ah, okay. One of the only ones. Kappa. As of now, we do have Link Speed on the way. Link Speed is on the way. Link's going to be building up, just to defend, just to be secure. Oh. Catching out the Marine. From here, we do have our 1-1-1 follow-up. Interesting. Now already I do appreciate that we're not going for a 3-Rex. We have some variety, papi. Let's go. 1-1 runs I feel like are a little bit rare actually. Like I'm so used to seeing especially in Brood War TVZ or Brood War vs SE2, I'm so used to seeing either 3-Rex stim timings, or I'm so used to seeing double factory massive ultra openers as well. Like I'm conditioned to see one or the other. I'll be honest. So to see a 1-1-1 Wraith opener, it's like, oh my god, like we're playing some StarCraft. Like we're let's go. Wraith does move out. Meanwhile, that's a very early bathing nest. Uh-oh, that's I spoke too soon. I was like, yo, we're about to get into some StarCraft. That's a 3:30 bathing nest timing. Lings are amassing. Lings, they do flood in, and Marine goes down. There's no Sim City here, and the Vultures are under fire. Yeah, they're under threat. So Lings coming for the surround. They get on top of the SCVs. And so far, not too many SCV kills. Okay, press the defense. So far, so good. Nice canning. One Vulture does fall. There's 2 Vultures left. SCV's finally going to be going down. Again, they're so tanky. Jesus. Even going for the Master Repair as well. Okay. 6 SCV kills. Another Vulture falls. But again, this could have been so much worse. Like, Dice, he handled himself quite well here amongst all the chaos. Did defend nicely. But remember, Magic Turtle's all in. Remember, he had the Bailey Nest, and it's already done. And we'll soon see. I mean, we don't even need a bus, is the thing. It's like true. There's no wall. Oh no! Gets surrounded. Yeah, miscontrol from Dice. Spider-Man goes off. No, Spider-Man has adjusted. Oh, what about that friendly fire, though? Oh my god. Has to be so careful about that friendly fire. Spider-Man, nice connection. Takes down the Zerglings. Spider-Man going off. Meanwhile, a bit of miscontrol here from Magic Turtle. He's rallying into the buildings. Another Vulture goes down. As he picks up more SCVs, and he's still just flooding. Still just flooding across the map. Spider-Man start getting set up. Oh my god. Jesus. Gee, that's 14 SCV kills. Thankfully, nothing too major in the main base, but again, the Spider-Mines, they do a lot of friendly fire. You gotta be careful. They're crazy, man. They are crazy. Imagine who's not stopping. He's not stopping. He's still rushing across the map. Oof. Another shot going up. Is it still? Jeez, oh no! Ah! He pulls away the wrong Zergling. And with that, Dice is holding. He's holding on, he's defending, and what's scary here is that on the one hand, yes, a lot of workers were killed, but this is still not enough. Like, Dice, he's still ahead economically, he still has a higher worker count. Dice is on 31 SCVs. He's building up his Vulture count, he has defended. Like, at this point, Dice is held, and Magic Turtle, he was so committed, and in the end, it was not quite worth it here. He's still in 2 bases, still in 29 workers, just now working towards the lair. It's now a rough position here for Magic Turtle. Is this the 3rd CC? Oh no. 3rd CC is already done. Dice getting further ahead. And again, like, I will say the Magic Turtle, there was a little bit of miscontrol there as well. Like, there was a lot of wasted DPS on buildings, and likewise, we had some lackluster splits against those mine shots as well, against the Spider Mines. Now going into Muta play. Spire has been thrown down. We had to pick 2 maps. Oh, there's only 2 maps. Oh, okay. I see. So hard diving in the army, catching out the vultures. You know, double scan into the bases, does get eyes on... Wait, what? Yeah. It looks like the observer was also looking for the spire, was also confused, like, hold on. What's going on, Five? What's going on? It does get scattered. It's scattered, we have turrets already on the way. Dice getting ready for the mutas. And unfortunately, like, that was meant to be the way to recover in this game, was that surprise factor of Muta play. I mean, Mutas, they still have a lot of micro potential, true. They have a lot of potential. But now less so than previously. Lings, it will overwhelm. Does force a friendly fire. Fireback goes down. The tank on the high ground helping out a little bit. Helping the Zerg player even. As the Radiator's on the way, again, we're just taking it from here. Mutas do catch out the Marines. Marines are called out. From here, Magic Turtle still just trying to drone. I say that is working towards more Lings. Once again, doesn't quite force friendly fire, thankfully. A Okay, SVs go down. Nice damage preserving those meters. Let's preserve them. Irradiate's almost done. 10 more seconds. And again, despite the initial rush here, Magic Turtle, he's actually controlling quite well. Like, the value he's gotten here is quite impressive. Getting 10 more CVs, takes down the turret, pulls away the weakened muta. Nicely done. Oh, but there's the irradiate. And a little bit of miscontrol, but he does pull away in time. He does pull away. Bang's now done. Banging speed is still in production. Needs a little bit more time. Oh! He's getting ready here to dive on that third. Tank has repositioned. The Science Vessel does not have an irradiate ready. More Marines going down. And here comes the Ling Bane. Brutal tank shot too. Brutal tank volleys. Does get into the mineral line. And SCV kills. Some decent damage. Alright, SCVs overwhelms the Bio Army. Another radiate does go up. Good reaction from Magic Turtle. Oh god! Does react somewhat well. Taking a lot of splash damage though. The irradiate is brutal. Shuts down all the mutas and dice holds. He does hold on. Behind this Magic Turtle, able to get a decent drone count now, up to three-way saturation. Up to 63. Fourth base is on the way. Sure, he's back in this game. Like it was a very rough start. And I wasn't really expecting the mutas to get this much damage done, but hey, they were able to kill quite a decent amount of workers. Dice had a hard time keeping up. He was also dealing some friendly fire to himself as well with his tanks. Magic Turtle, he's in this game. Speaking of mutas, they do slip away. They just slip away. We do see dice committing across the map. He's holding on to, I want to say, 2 irradiates here. Okay. Does have 2 of them. Drop into the main. It's going to be dealt with. Dice signalizes further expansion. Pushing further in. Ling Bane is amassing. Bearing in mind that Magic Turtle, he can't afford to lose the expansion. Decent splits. It does split off, collapsing in the army. And the tanks are exposed. Yeah, they're going to go down. Dice getting completely cleaned up here. Yeah, the tanks, the bio armor as well. Oh no, the splits are not there. It takes all the bailings to the face. Yeah, it does take the bailings. Likewise, Science Vessel already going to be going down as well. Nice cleanup here by the Zerg. And again, despite having a much stronger start here, Dice, he's lost his lead. He's lost his lead. He has lost momentum. Yo, the turtle is magical. It's like, oh my god, let's go. He persevered back. He clawed his way back in. The magic is real. Now, bearing in mind that we're still a Magnatha, like the map itself is quite large. Bailings, they do roll in. No reaction. Yeah, no reaction here. SCVs, 16 of them do go down. Once again, we saw Dice struggle to split against the Bailings earlier. Here, struggling to react. He's being torn apart. And the turtle's locked in. Let's go. Dice is rotating, it's being active. It's trying to be active. Zones away the Zerglings. And rotating towards the top side. And we do see that Magic Turtle's out of position. Okay, can take down the expansion. At the same time, the tanks are exposed. Gets one. Radiate goes off. Nice connection here on the Infestor. As the Infestor will go down. Nice, takes down the expansion. Takes down two. Oh god. Two bases going to be falling here. Brutal losses for Magic Turtle. And despite having some nice moments here, losing two bases, I mean, now he has limited economy, limited production. Ay. And brutal pig-offs there. Wait, is that a third infestation pit? What's happening? what is happening right now? That's a third pit. Let's go. Now he can produce infestors faster. True. Yo, do we not know is Magic Turtle, is he like secretly like also a Terran player? Is that what's happening right now? Is that no. Not like this. It's alive confirmed. As Dicey does stim in, that's a kill, not a cancel. Takes down the expansion. And he's maxed out. At this point, Dicey's maxed out. He has a nice tank spread. Is that a fourth infestation? What is happening? What is happening right now? What's going on? Wait. 4? Oh, no. He's like, this is how I build infestors, right? True. There we go. Now that makes sense. So it looks like it was a hotkey issue. It was trying to build an ultra cavity the entire time, but it kept making the pit instead. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. That's 2 science vessels going to be going down. I'm loving the restoration. Let's go. It's from here. Dice is pushing in, does take some focus on the face, but he can afford to. Yeah, he can take these losses here. He'll stim one forward, he'll snowball out of control. Takes down the Link Bane, and GG gets called. Dicey overwhelms, and Dicey will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Again, Dicey had a much stronger start to the game. Of course, he was able to build up, able to defend, able to survive the initial all-in out of Magic Turtle. I was most impressed though by the comeback. Magic Turtle with his Mutaplay, with his Link Bane harass as well. He did recover in that game. He did make a game out of it. He was dead in the water, and suddenly he was forcing mistakes out of Dice. He was able to engage and have better fights against the main army, able to harass as well, able to get into mineral lines. Towards the end of the game though, he did get outpositioned. True, he got outpositioned, and we saw Dice able to knock down 2 expansions. From that moment, he took a massive lead as production was heavily hindered. Economy was also very heavily hindered for the Zerg player from Magic Turtle. GG, well played. In the end, Dice does claim it. In the end, he doesn't completely lose his lead, does recover. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be hopping on over here to the lower part of the round of 12. Up next is going to be a TVP between ZaRDieNT and Quantel. We do have a Terran versus Zerg coming up next here. Again, it's great to see the return of Quantel. Quantel was a very active player a couple of years ago. He is, of course, the best player from Indonesia, and he only recently came back to the game. I'm really curious. I would love to, I could actually reach out to him. I'd love to know what brought him back. Like, what brought him back and what enamored him with StarCraft Evolution, but really cool to see the return of Quantel. Really cool. Big fan. As in the bottom right hand corner, we do have our Brood War Terran player. It is ZaRDieNT. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have the Indonesian Protoss, the pink Protoss. It is Quantel. But again, I've got a soft place in my heart for Quantel, of course. We featured him many times in ANZ Champs, for example, in the Southeast Asian regionals as well. And again, we've casted Quantel plenty of times on the channel, but it's been a couple of years, like legit. It's been a couple of years since he's been active. So really cool to see the return of Quantel. Really cool to see. Much love, much love. Now, when it comes to his return, I actually haven't been able to cast too much of Quantel. Of course, we've cast it many times in years past, in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2021 as well. Was a relatively younger player back then, from my memory, from my recollection. But now he's back, now he's returned, and we'll see how he's adapted to StarCraft Evolution. Here we go. Still on Team GDA, of course. Settling in to our initial opener here. So okay, expanded Cybercore, nothing too crazy out of our Protoss player. Likewise, we have our own setup as well from ZaRDieNT. Now ZaRDieNT, from my brief encounters with ZaRDieNT, he's quite fond of mech. We've seen a lot of mech out of our Terran player here. We'll see if that continues. We'll see if that is also applicable here to TVP. If he does go for a second factory into a Vulture-based opener. Again, I was most excited to see the 1-1-1 out of DICE previously, but that might just be a little bit more of like a little bit more of an, I almost said aberration, of an exception from the norm. I would love to see more of that, but our eyes are on ZaRDieNT here as the machine shop is on the way. Machine shop on that factory, and our eyes are open looking for a second factory as well. As Vulture production has begun, Spider Mines are on the way. Is opening up mech. Ooh, armory as well, okay. A much faster armory gets scouted though. Quantel does push into the main. It will delay the armory as well. Ay, ay, ay. Bearing in mind the armory, of course, is a prerequisite to Goliath production, but also to get into the upgrades, to get into mech. And that does shade down to low ground. Gets one SCV so far, just the one. Will threaten the other. A couple of them do get low, but with that, ZaRDieNT does hold. Does hold. There it is. Second factory is on the way. Now the army is done. Yep, there it is. It's going to be opening up. I said Vulture. It's going to be opening up a Goliath. I would imagine this is partly because he has not scouted across the map, so this might just be a safe way to open up, just to make sure he has anti-air, just so he doesn't die to a random oracle. As the Vulture does bust in, 3 probes going to be going down. Does get 3 workers, but does not get into the main. And yeah, it looks like it was just a safety Goliath. We've seen this out of Kiwian. If you've been watching much of Kiwian, for example, whenever he plays mech, he does at times go for an early Goliath in this matchup just so he's ready for Oracle play if he doesn't scout. So very similar here. He's not going mass Goliath by any means. He's only opening up in case it was a Stargate. Behind this, we have the Academy. That is going to be for, of course, the Comsat Station. Getting to more factories, +1 vehicle weapons is on the way. And building up his own mech army. He did, of course, invest into Spider Mines, but did not invest into Ion Thrusters. So going Vulture and Tank. Researching Siege Mode. Not committing too hard into Mass Vulture, which I find interesting. It does mean that he has less map presence and less map control. So because they poke in, they dive on the tank. The first tank is going to go down. Get no repairs. Get no repairs in time. Brutal start there for ZaRDieNT. Will punish some of the Stalkers though. Does punish. As Quantel does pull away. Getting into a more gateway heavy composition. It's going to go more gateway heavy. There we go. There's that Ion Thrusters. Setting up for more vultures. Once again, though, these stalkers, they do pin him back. They pin him down. ZaRDieNT slowly trying to break out. Meanwhile, Quantel happily mining on 3 bases. He's getting his fully saturated. Now taking up in towards Archons and Storm. I don't think Quantel's actually seen much of the main base, but based on what he's seen, I mean, he can assume it's going to be mech anyway. Can make that assumption. I does see the army moving out. Picks off another tank. Ay, ay, ay. Will cost him a stalker. 2 stalkers even. Does sustain a couple of losses. And water production has begun. Again, Quantel just building up his anti-mech army. More stalkers, zealots, immortals, archons. Catching other tanks as well. They're unsieged. Yeah, they're going to be going down. A nice blink here from Quantel. Dives on the tanks. They're going to be falling one after the other. He will clean everything up. Ay, ay, ay. Does cost him a lot of stalkers, but takes down every single tank. Takes down the tanks, takes down the army. I'll say it's still a better trade for Quantel. Brutal that he lost all the stalkers, though. True. But does that shut ZaRDieNT down? Oh, nice vulture run by. Slips into the main. Does slip in. We can, of course, one-shot workers into vultures. Gets 5. 5 vultures do go down. And ZaRDieNT, my biggest concern here for him is he's still on 2 bases. Like, he's still stuck on a 2-base setup. Meanwhile, Quantel gets a 4th. This was my big criticism of Ateshi, if you remember earlier in the broadcast, how it took so long for Ateshi to expand. Meanwhile, here, Quantel, he's all over it. He's all over it. He's getting a 4th base already. Working towards +2. And, of course, rebuilding his gateway army. And ZaRDieNT, oh, we're going to be here for a while. We're gonna ay, ay, ay. Alright, strap yourselves in. We're throwing down a wall of spider mines. We have the minefield set up. Here come the zealots. Can they make it through? Oof. And they will barely get on top of the first 2 tanks. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks going down. They're going to try to keep pushing in, actually. Yeah, blinks on forward, dives on another tank. Bold move here by Quantel. Takes down most of the tanks. There's 2 left. Down to 2. And down to 1. Yeah, cleans up every single tank just barely. Not the cleanest trade out of Quantel is what I will say. Not the cleanest trade, but it breaks through the main army. Gets into the mineral land. Here come the reinforcements. And Quantel, before ZaRDieNT can wall up, GG gets called. And Quantel, he will take game number 1. Thank God. GG, well played. Again, ZaRDieNT, he was so ready. He was so prepared to make this a 45-minute game. He was getting ready to just fully wall off with the minefield, with the tank line, with the turrets as well. But Quantel, he barely broke through. It was questionable, especially when it came to the dive with those wing stalkers. It was a little bit questionable, but he was able to just barely go for the kill just before we fully walled up, and he tried to make the game a little bit longer or just slow the game down. We saw that Quantel was able to break on through. GG, well played. Whew, with that, Quantel takes the lead. Hi. I can always rely on Quantel, Papi. I can rely. But here we go, we're now getting into game number 2, and it is going to be up to ZaRDieNT to pick whether or not he wants to commit to Broodlord Terran or switch to SE2. What's it going to be? Personally, I would love to see Quantel's Broodlord Protoss. I'd love to see like how he does handle it and how he's looking when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. I'd love to see, love to know. And we might be able to find out as we are getting into our next game. Okay, spawning in the top left-hand corner, we do have ZaRDieNT, our purple Broodlord Terran. And in the top right-hand corner of our mirror, we have the Indonesian Protoss. It is Quantel. the SE2 Protoss. So unfortunately won't quite be able to embrace his brutal Protoss, not yet at least. We'll get there, I'm sure. Interesting move out. Are you referring to ZaRDieNT's tank push? I mean, I suppose so. Like, it was very tank heavy, and it didn't really have much vulture support. If you're referring to his first move out, which did kind of fall on its face and did force him to be more defensive and more turtley. So it was a bit of a rough move out from ZaRDieNT for sure. It was unfortunate that he got caught out in the open. It was unfortunate. Go. 2-gate opener. Okay, so 2-gate opener out of Quantel. A much more aggressive start. From here we can open up double adept. Interesting quotation mark. Oh, don't be a clown, Pappy. Don't be a clown. Esther Hyper 1. Oh, and we're going back to what we do best. What do we see here? 3 Rexes. 3 Rex stim timing here out of ZaRDieNT. Let's go. As this is actually the first time we're seeing it today. Again, this is much more common, much more, I guess, meta builds to Brood War Terran to StarCraft Evolution, and we're going to be able to see it here and now as well. Here we go. ZaRDieNT told me he played this series in 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, he was jet lagged as well, right? It's like he just got off a plane. No, he didn't get a lot to eat. He was hungry. The kitchen was on fire. It happens. It happens. Yeah, for sure. Curb, yeah. So Quantel does dip in, does gap in time main, does confirm, does for the 3-rack setup, and these lefts are getting quite a bit done here. They're getting a couple of SCVs, which isn't the biggest of deals. What's important though is that he scouts the positioning of his opponent, does scout the build of choice. So Quantel is fully aware of the sim timing. We can see him being aggressive ahead of time, trying to engage. Behind this, going for a robo. Sentries are building up as well. That does break in. Once again, delaying the push. Doing another 2 SCVs. The amount of nerfs that this build has received. I want to say that this build has received nerfs throughout the entirety of the year. Make ZaRDieNT a true figure of determination. I mean, I'm pretty sure Beyond is still going to be doing this build as well. Like, I don't... Like, despite the nerfs, I don't think it's going to deter players from embracing it. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, that's a part of what the patch entails. Or what this tournament is meant to be about. But here we go. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for ZaRDieNT. Force fields will lock him down. Very nice. But Quantel, calm down. Zones away the army. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Quantel. He does have a Colossus on the way. There's a first stim. And there's no second force field. Boy's gonna be pulled. Army does kite back. Nice Guardian shield. Shield by Likewise putting in a lot of work as well. Running out of SCVs. There's another stim. Does stim forward. Takes down the probes. And again, we need a little bit more time for the Colossus. Can he get on top of the Robo? Can he get on top of the Pylon? It's gonna be close. The Pylon. Yeah, does stim in, takes down the Stalker, takes down the Adept. Ooh, Colossus does pop. And Marines are being cleaned up here. Quantel will clean this up, but not without losing 20 workers. 20 probes do go down. That is critical damage. On the one hand, yes, ZaRDieNT, he pulled the boys, but he does do critical damage. He does do enough. 21 probe kills. With that, we have 20 workers left. And ZaRDieNT, he can macro, he can expand, he can get a third CC. Behind this, going for the factory, researching siege mode. He's building up from here. But ZaRDieNT, he's in a pretty nice position. He's looking relatively comfortable. I say relative. Tech-wise, I do favor Quantel, right? He has a Colossus, he has another on the way. Against a bio composition, Quantel can still excel. That's what the tanks are for. As siege mode is almost done. And do we have any tanks? Ooh, that is the question. What's the defensive position looking like? Okay, tank is on the high ground. We just heard it siege. Lower ground is exposed. There's a scan, reveals a Colossus. And Quantel can nibble away at the bunker. Shades forward. No, the Ursidon. Every time. They're all animals. Leave the Ursidons alone. As again, ZaRDieNT, he is stabilizing here with his bio tank. He has yet to throw down a third CC. So that's what I'm keeping my eye open for here, is whether or not ZaRDieNT expands. Likewise, Quantel, I mean, at this point, because of all his losses, I mean, there's a reason why he's still on 2 bases. But he is resaturating. Working on the extended lands. There it is, third CC's on the way from the Terran. So he is expanding. We're getting in towards the mid-game. And soon it's going to be up to Quantel to likewise also expand. Right now, he's in the dark. He doesn't know if his opponent's going to go for another all-in. He doesn't know how aggressive ZaRDieNT is going to be. Yeah, it's a 4-gateway explosion. Again, these 4 gates could be a Nexus, right? They could be an expansion here. As Quantel just doesn't know. Ooh, the Observer does pull away. Oof, gets caught out. Keen eyes there out of ZaRDieNT. Yo, what soundtrack is this? As we are building up, again, Quantel, I will say that his third base is quite late here, but just because he's not really aware of how safe he is or how much danger he's in. As he's now looking to expand. He is spotted here by ZaRDieNT. ZaRDieNT is already getting a third. So Quantel's still behind economically. Is behind ZaRDieNT looking for a ninja base. And we'll see if Quantel can recover here. Still has no Storm either. He's quite heavily reliant on Colossus, which can still trade well against Bio, of course. For sure. Can trade well. So I'm just like enjoying the music. I haven't heard this before, or if I have, it was like once in like a campaign mission. So Just enjoying. This is reminding me of like someone like Bruce Falconer school or something. Let's go. For now though, dropping towards the main. Shuttle is getting shut down by the turrets, and will fall. It barely does unload. With that ZaRDieNT, he should be okay. Should be able to defend. Likewise, Quantel is holding his own, pushing him between the bases. Have we been here before? It's quite similar to the game on Maganatha, where ZaRDieNT, he's fully walling up. He's got a line of tanks. Now, he's of course playing bio, not mech. We even have a lockdown on the way, which I do appreciate. It's been a while since we've really seen lockdown be prevalent in StarCraft Evolution, despite it being like one of my favorite spells. Feels bad, man. But he's getting into bio tank, and he's turtling up quite heavily despite not playing mech. And what I appreciate here is that Quantel, he's recognized this, and what's he doing? He's expanding, which is the correct thing to do. I will criticize, of course, and say that Quantel's third is late and his fourth is late, and he could have had map control and a greater economy sooner, but he's getting there. He is getting there. Likewise, second robo, double disruptor production. He's building up his own ground army as well. And I'm excited to see Ghost again. I'm excited. Again, it's something that we rarely see nowadays. Lockdown, of course, is almost like Interference Matrix, I guess, or it's like the brutal variation of that. You can go in, you can lock down units. The biggest difference, of course, is that it does actually root the unit in place. And it can work quite nicely here against a robo-heavy composition. Against Colossus, against Disruptors, against Immortals as well. This is where we're going to need some counterplay alongside this, with High Templar, with feedbacks, of course. And the game is slowing down. With Quantel now claiming a fourth base, like Quantel's going to be looking to max out. I'm still not entirely convinced by the armies, but we'll see how they do engage. As here we go, we have a mass on siege. ZaRDieNT is pushing. Let's go. Likewise, ZaRDieNT, he's having a hard time spending his money here. He has a bank. He's still yet to max out. Pushing across the map. No vision here from Quantel. They don't run into each other. There he goes. Oh, 3 ghosts go down. Nova goes up. Oh my god, brutal connection. ZaRDieNT, he face checks up the ramp. Don't never face check back. Oh god. As almost every ghost is going to be falling. Nice lockdowns here on top of the Colossus. But that was just a brutal way to start the fight. Ay. He checked with the face and he lost the face, man. He lost it. Oh god. From here he does catch a Colossus. Again, lockdown does last a very long time. And again, he still has a hefty tank count, I should say. ZaRDieNT, he's bled out a lot of ghosts, a lot of marines, but the tank count still stands strong. He's got a lot of tanks. And he's slowly edging his way forward. Ooh, does this too. A couple of tanks going to be going down. Zelse collapse in. Oof. Catching out the bio. But an awkward engage here from Quantel. Forced to back up. ZaRDieNT, he does bust into the mineral line. A nice run by here. Quantel completely out of position. Doesn't get too much done though. 3 probes. Only 3 worker kills. Again, that's still a terrifying tank count. We're still making more tanks. More tanks are on the way. But alas, ZaRDieNT's out of position. Remember, there's no planetary. So I'll take it across the map. SCV is going to be going down. We have fire bats. I guess they would help against zealots. True. Oh god, is that obvious? They do stack. The SCVs they do stack. 22 SCVs going to be going down. Brutal losses, tanks are left exposed, and Quantel's just pulling a ZaRDieNT apart. Ay. GG gets called. ZaRDieNT will lose everything, and Quantel, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. An impressive comeback there from Quantel. Remember, Quantel, he was down in workers. His economy was crippled after the early 3-rack stim timing. Again, a really strong timing there, really strong timing from the side of ZaRDieNT, despite the fact that the build has been nerfed quite heavily. Still looking quite strong here against Quantel, I will say that. So, again, it was a really strong start from ZaRDieNT. He did have an economic lead in the aftermath, but we saw that he didn't do anything with it. Again, ZaRDieNT, he's known for being more turtley, more passive, more defensive, and he allowed Quantel to recover. He allowed him to get back into that game, to get back into it, to recover, and to stabilize, to eventually stabilize. It also didn't help as well that the fight started so poorly for ZaRDieNT. As you mentioned, he blindly pushed up a ramp. He took a massive Nova to the face. He lost 3 ghosts early on, and then lost another 3 right after as well. So just a really rough start to the fight, losing a lot of key units early on, and with that, he was torn apart. GG, well played. Do appreciate seeing some more mid to late game bio play in TVP, just because it's a bit of a rarer sight. I see someone mentioning how the lockdown buff's paying off. I mean, kind of. Again, I feel like we still have to see a lot more games for that. I do appreciate seeing Ghost once again, just because that was my favorite part of the start of the year. We saw a lot of Ghost play. Shout out to Honmono. Honmono was very fond of Ghost play as well, but that kind of fell by the wayside just because of the prevalence of some of these other builds and other styles. Like mech, of course, especially mech. But with that, GG. With that, GG well played. Quantel will advance on into the next round, and he'll advance on to face off against Rumieth in a PVZ. Now, until then, we're going to be going on a short break. We're nearing the tail end of the broadcast. We have 2 matches left. We have 2 best of 3s remaining. We have Rumieth versus Quantel, and we have TaeJa versus Prome. So 2 matches remaining. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next set of matches. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the StarCraft Evolution League Masters number 4 PTR edition, day number 1. Again, we're going to be featuring some new changes here to the game, to the StarCraft Evolution mod with said PTR. And what better way than to host an invitational, than to host a big tournament featuring some of these changes and featuring the best players out there. Let's go. Up next, we have our ZVP, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg. It is Rumian. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the Indonesian Protoss player, the Pink Protoss himself. It is a Quantel. Here we go. Again, our PVZ does continue. Or does commence, I should emphasize, as we actually haven't had too many of them here tonight. And we'll see, again, we'll see how Quantel can handle Rumian. As Rumian, he is more of a dedicated player here to StarCraft Evolution. He competes a little bit in StarCraft 2, but he's a rare sight. He's a rare sight in the StarCraft 2 events. I want to say that maybe we saw him in some Alima League brackets, maybe early on at the beginning of the year. But outside of that, of course, he has been more dedicated to StarCraft Evolution instead, and we'll see what he brings to the table, especially with some of the latest changes. Oh boy. For now, going Hatch Gas Pool, going for a standard opener, everything looking normal so far. Likewise, Quantel back at home, going for his own Gate Expand. Here we go. So many Zerg tonight. I'm getting spoiled. Oh, let's go. I mean, we had Rumian, then we had Magitro. True. These are our 2 Zerg players in the brackets. As Rumian does go for his own macro hatchery back at home. Again, quite common to open up and head in towards Ling Hydra-based compositions. You can go for a faster layer and go into Ling Muta. That is also a viable option, especially on some of the larger maps like Maganatha. True. Can try to go into Muta play. For now, though, we are expecting Ling Hydra. Likewise, back at home, Quantel, the Cybercore is done. And do we open up Stargate? Do we open up Twilight Council? What is going to be our tech of choice? Once again, welcome on all to Maganatha. Maganatha is one of, if not the largest map in the map pool. There it is. Stargate has been thrown down. It's going to open up Oracle. Now again, when it comes to early game defense here, it's a little bit more different for Brood War just because there are no queens, so getting to earlier colonies and earlier spores are more paramount. They're just more important. Likewise, that's also where earlier Hydra tech does come into play as well to keep up and to get in position to defend against those oracles. And there it is. Hydrogen has been thrown down. And again, the earlier Hydrogen is more necessary here to make sure you have anti-air to defend against the early game harass. So Hydra's going to be on the horizon. Magic Turtle was the amphibious Rapscallion that we all needed. True. He's so magical. And again, he had an impressive performance, true. Was looking quite impressive. Behind this episode, do threaten a shade. Ooh, they do commit, actually. Yeah, Lings are in position, and Epps are going to be locked down, and they shouldn't get much done. They will get 1 drone kill, but just 1. So better defense here from Rumian. We'll shut him down. Hydras are building up. The Oracle is soon to be zooming across the map. Making its way. And again, Hydras are popping out just in time to defend. They have arrived. They zone away the Oracle. The Oracle does head towards the main. The Hydras, they do pop in once again. And the Oracle is forced back. Behind this, you see Quantel going for the Robo on 2 bases, going for early Immortal into a Bay, all on 2 bases. Very committed here from Quantel. Very committed. Rushing into early Colossus tech. Staying on 2 bases that much longer. That does give the opportunity here for Rumian to drone. To drone, to saturate. To build up on 3 bases, to get a 4th. Speaking of a lot of tech on 2 bases, we got a forge as well, extra gateways. Just very dedicated here on those 2 expansions. I mean, it makes sense. Just because Hydra's become online a lot sooner, it is less safe to rush into a 3rd base in this matchup, as opposed to in regular ZVP in SE2. So the Protoss is going to be stuck. Once they get the Colossus, then they can expand. See, Lair is on the way. Rumiath is droning. I'll say that he had a little bit late saturation in regards to his 3rd, but he's getting there. Likewise, now Quantel will expand. Now he has a little bit more to work with. As the first Colossus has arrived. So Quantel, he is secure. Likewise, Twilight Council's on the way. From here, can start to take up into charge, into blink. And speaking of taking, Rumiath goes for the Spire. Now, this is a little bit scary. Currently, there are sentries, so we're expecting hallucination scouts. I'm hoping for hallucination scouts. If not, this can go unscouted, and this can get out of hand and get out of control. But again, there's 3 sentries. We should be seeing Quantel move out soon. Stage trap is baited. Plus on range on the way. Spreading out. Oh, never mind. Canceling range, going into melee upgrades instead. As close as they move out across the map, they get spotted. Rumiath now getting in position. Keeping up with the TaeJa. Forced to spend his money, so he's not banking up like he ideally he did want to. Prism comes in, charge is not yet done. Quantel being very assertive here with not much. Nice force fields. Sends away the army. Force fields locking down Rumiath. Hydras are coming from behind. The Prism goes down. Oh wait, no. Yeah, the Prism does get sniped. Oh, and a brutal loss here for Quantel, losing everything. Ay. Remember, this was all just before charge. 2 Colossus, 2 Immortals, the Prism as well. Ay. And with that Rumiath, you can just snowball control. You just move out across the map. The Spire is done. We have Scourge on the way. That's actually quite a lot of Scourge. Unfortunately, there's not much for them to get done, but there's 1 Colossus in production, so I guess they have a target. Have that target. We have the Queen's Nest in production. Lurker Tech is on the way. I do feel like Rumiath can push in towards a 3rd, but he's being very passive actually. He backs off. Doesn't quite try to commit. I mean, it doesn't help that he doesn't have any lurkers. True. So pulls away, drones up, taking another expansion, and getting ready for those lurkers. Now, Quantel should not push. He just got shut down. Now would not be the time. Especially without a Prism. He is being somewhat active. But again, this is looking rough here for Quantel. Rumiath up to 81 workers. He's done droning at this point. He's got 4 more on the way, so getting up to 85, or 84, 83 even. Hive is now on the way. With this, we can start to work towards Defilers or Queens. Or towards the Defiler Mound, I should say. Lurkers are now building up. We still have plenty of Scourge left over, so that's going to be the answer to the Colossus. And we have 2 more rovers on the way. Now, one big thing here, we mentioned earlier how we were waiting for the hallucination scout. We never got it. And even now, I mean, Quantel's playing so blind. So he doesn't know that there's a Spire. He doesn't know that there are Scourge that are building up. I don't think he's seen them yet, so he's still making more Colossus. Whereas right now, he would need High Templar, Storm, and Disruptors more than anything. Like, these Scourge, they shut down Colossus so hard. But again, Quantel just doesn't know, right? He hasn't scouted. seeing what's going on. Going into double immortal production. Interesting. Workers are spotted. Workers are spotted. There's a Defiler Mount and an Ultra Cavern as well. Pyramid is building up. So far the Scourge have been spotted. Now we have double Stargate and a Fleet Beacon on the way. Quantel working towards Sky Toss. I'm curious how effective Sky Toss is against late game Zerg with Scourge. Like, it's a dynamic that we haven't really seen. I'll be honest, I don't think we've actually seen much late game PvZ period in StarCraft Evolution. We've seen it on island maps with Sky Toss for sure, but here we go, Scourge, they come in. Oh, good. Okay, they shot down the first Colossus. Nice storm. Very nice storms. Alright, just gonna be zoned away. But yeah, now that I think about it, like as you mentioned, like we haven't really seen much late game ZVP period in StarCraft Evolution. But my big concern when it comes to Sky Toss is, of course, just the amount of Scourge that there are. And our Scourge can shut it down quite hard. Right now, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Rumia to protect, to zone away the Scourge, to protect the Tempest, as making 3 Tempests at a time. I think there was some early on. I think maybe last year. Maybe. I mean, in general, late game is a rare sight in StarCraft Evolution, but I feel like even more so in this matchup. Oh, Storms do punish. Like, I think for me personally, I think that's why I enjoyed the island maps more over the past 6 months, because we got longer games there, because it typically forced longer games. As a personal side note, but here we go. We do have the Defilers dipping in. Ultras are amassing. Getting into an ultra heavy style. Getting ready for the. I was gonna say getting ready for the Plague. Getting ready for the Dark Swarm. Speaking of themselves, they do collapse in. They do get on top of the Defilers as well. Yeah, Defilers are being thrown away. A Plague does land. Brutal connection. Behind this, 22 Scourge on the way. Getting into more Scourge. Mutas are amassing as well. Nice Dark Swarm. As Ultras, they head towards the bases, head towards the expansion. Again, the choke point is brutal. Colossus, they try to stand their ground, but the base looks like it will fall. And takes down the expansion. Does catch him out. This is part of the hope for the PTR patch, incentivized players to do less early game coin flips. I mean, I would say this is probably the big reason why this map was chosen. Like, as you mentioned, Magnatha is the largest map of the map pool, so if you're gonna try to force longer games out of players, then force them to play on Magnatha, right? Like, it makes sense. Like, we speak about it a lot of the time, but like, maps are pretty impactful when it comes to like how players approach certain matchups and how they play the game. And here we go, we do have some Devourers. Let's go. We have 9 Devourers morphing in. I know that they did adjust quite a lot in regards to the Devourer. In general, the Devourer is more of a supportive unit, and again, they allow for more damage over time. The Ultra does push its way forward. Gonna be shut down. Quantel does defend. Now, how hard are these Scourge gonna pop off? I'm still quite concerned here for the Tempest, but I mean, we'll see if they can, if the Storms connect, right? Like, ideally, you want to zone away the Scourge with Storms. Ideally, same with your Archons as well. As the Tempest is still very low from the earlier Plague, very low. Let's find some stray bases. Some stray expansions. There's a recall back home. Does recall in time, shuts down the Ultras. Jesus. We'll shut them down. Oh, meanwhile, I think the camera just missed it, but the Tempest, I believe, they just got caught out. Yeah, I think the Tempest count was just reset. So the Scourge, they trade well. I think they just shut down 6 Tempests. Guardians have arrived. And Quantel deployments and supply. Quantel doesn't really have much for the Guardians. I don't think that the Devourers were even like a factor. I think it was just the Scourge just collapsing in. No, let's go. We got the Mothership. The army does collapse in, taking down what little's left on the ground, catching out the Immortals, catching out the Archons. Devourers, they catch out the Mothership. And again, Rumi, he's snowballing from here. Devourers, they push in. They zone away the Colossus. They collapse you on top of the Tempest as well. And again, Rumi, he has done it. A little bit sad we didn't get to see the Scourge collapse on the Tempest, but we can assume how that went, for sure. We can assume. This Tempest is slowly going down. The Guardians are still pushing through. Or was the Guardian count reset? Uh-oh. Looks like it was reset. Just shuts down the Guardians. At the same time, Hydra Remax here does waddle in. Stormers are okay, but just the one Storm. And Rumi, he will overwhelm. Start stepping forward, getting on top of the Colossus, getting on top of the final Tempest. Zel's still, let's go, they're coming in from behind. DTs as well, okay. Quantel, he holds. He survives. Still plenty of detection though. Plenty of detection. Does force his way in. And there's just not much here for Quantel. Oh, the Scourge! They collapse on the Tempest. And again, it was just a bit, just an awkward moment for Quantel. Winding it back, his armor will split. It will split up into 3 parts. And GG gets called. Rumi takes game number 1. GG. Rumi does take a lead, but again, Quantel, he will split up. He had his army towards the top side, towards the south side as well. He got caught out by all of these Scourge. Again, I still don't know like the best way to handle Scourge. Like, I know that Storm can zone and Archons can protect as well, but even then, Scourge is so fast. They're so fast, so quick, and I feel like it is hard to kind of protect a Skytoss army. Like late game PvZ here it's a very different dynamic than regular SE2 PvZ, and with that, GG. With that, GG well played. With that, Rumi does take a lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2, and we'll see how where game 2 takes us as we're loading into Vermeer. Here we go. Scourge HP did go down. Yeah, that's why I was it would be really nice to see that interaction, because that's something that we didn't get here, is how much does a Storm and how much do Archons punish Scourge? That's the real question, right? It's like, how much are they punished? How much can Scourge tank? And whether they can still like break through, right? I guess that's probably the most important question in regards to our Templar Storm damage and Archon shots. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Vermeer. We have the South Korean Zerg player. It is Vermeer. And spawning in the top hand corner, we have the pink Protoss, the brutal Protoss. It is Quantel. We go. So we're getting into game number 2. Scourge HP did go down, yeah. Again, as I mentioned, it's unfortunately we didn't really get to see that unit interaction in that last game. As we were trying to emphasize, because the armor was split for Quantel, his attention was split as well. So, like, he didn't have the opportunity to try to protect his Skytoss and try to protect his Tempest. Didn't really have that opportunity. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2. For now, it is going to be the initial opener here, Hatch a gas pool out of Vermeer. Likewise, we do have the Nexus first out of Quantel. Okay. As we do have a role reversal here, this time Vermeer playing SC2 Zerg, and this time Quantel playing Brutal Protoss. Go. As we are going to be scouting across the map, we have Vermeer checking top right and scouting diagonally across as well. We'll eventually find Quantel. And we'll see how we do open up. Again, we're used to seeing robo-based openers in this matchup, but there are some niche builds where you can open up with a faster Citadel, with a commitment into Zealots. Or even another Stargate opener, true. So we'll keep an eye on Quantel. So now we're building up. Dragoons are on the way. Just waiting for our initial tech as we're going for a second gateway. Ling does slip into the main. We'll get eyes on the second gate. We'll confirm the more Dragoon heavy start. Once again, I appreciate the gateway. The new model, I mean. I appreciate it. For sure. As with this 2-gate opener, interesting, Quantel rushing to a much faster third. Faster third base, a heavy Dragoon counter early on. And we'll see if he can get away with this. Oh, speaking of, that is going to be a 3:45 lair timing, so early lair out of Vermeer. Gases are being Jesus. Taking all 4 gases. And this feels like we're rushing into Muta play. I say it feels like rushing into Mutas. Technically, there are builds where you can rush into a Hydra Den and try to rush into a more Hydra heavy composition. Technically, this can be like 2-base Swarm Host as well, but I don't think Vermeer is really that kind of player. So for now, at the forefront of my mind is Muta play. We'll see. Oh, as the Roach Horn gets thrown down, okay. Throws down the safety Roach Horn. If we have +1 range instead of +1 melee on that Evo chamber, then we have to assume it's not going to be Mutas. Range is on the way, and no Spire. No Spire. Which means that we spoke, actually, after we theorized Muta play, like this could actually be Hydras. Roaches into early Hydra, into early Lurker tech. So we'll keep an eye on Vermeer. We'll see where he takes us with said lair. Now he is somewhat droned up. Lair is now done. Overseer scout across the map. What do you have for us? Getting into roach speed, so not just the safety roach run, but he's investing into roach play as well. Overseer will get eyes on the gateway explosion and on the temple archives as well. So he's aware there's no Reavers, he's aware there's no Bay. Instead it's going to be Storm. Oh, and it's going to be Lingbane Roach Ravager. Okay. A very lair kind of base composition. Very mid-game oriented. It's, I would say it's a style that's fallen out of favor in SE2. It had its time like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. But nowhere near seen enough. Well, as much as it used to. Is this game mode balanced? This is a PTR tournament, so right now we're testing some changes. So we do have a massive list of proposed balance changes to the game, and that is the purpose of this tournament, of this invitational, is to test out those changes. Is the purpose. For now, we do have Overlord Speed on the way. Infestation Bit as well. We are going to be taking up. As Rumiath is rushing into Hive. Pretty fast Hive here out of Rumiath at 650. Jesus. Going for the early Hive. Quantel does push out as he moves out. Lings, they do counterattack, they do hit the fourth. Forcing out the early Storm. Oh no, High Templar! Ooh, High Templar is exposed and he does get it. Massive pickup, takes down the Templar. No Storms left. But does end one. Yeah, force him off in the Archon. With that, the Archon is going to go down, and Rumiath, he does catch Quantel off guard. He gets caught with his pants down. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, he'll lose everything. Yeah, he does overextend. No shuttle to kite back. Dragoon's going down. And just a really rough start there for Quantel, losing that first High Templar. Does have a couple of Storms left. Does hold on at the same time throughout all of this, the fourth base. The fourth base was cancelled. So no fourth, he's stuck with 3 bases. Rumiath droning up to 80, now taking up in towards Ultras. Ultra Caverns on the way, safety Infestors as well for those Fungals. And Quantel's in a rough position. From here, he's trying to work towards Skytoss. We have a Stargate on the way. With that, he can work towards a Fleet Beacon, work towards Carriers. But it is a really rough position here for Quantel. And we'll see if he can stabilize. Is Arcade uploading back on? Not yet. Not yet. They had to go, like, they had to implement a workaround here to actually use the PTR to actually host this event, I should say. Which is also why we're not casting this via replays. We're casting this via clean feed instead. For SEL Masters 4, it is going to be via clean feed. As we have a second and third Stargate on the way alongside the Fleet Beacon. As we mentioned, Quantel is going to try to get away with Skytoss, but he's heavily reliant on Rumiath being passive. Oh, goddammit. Rumiath. Oh, god. He's another diva enjoyer. Not like this. Not like this. Este Rumiath. Shin, is that you? Este Shin. But yes, Quantel's working towards Mass Carrier. Unfortunately, Rumiath is maxed. He's maxed out, which means he should be pushing. And his goal here would be to break one of these bases before the Skytoss really gets underway. So we go. We have 3 carriers being built at a time. Rumith looking to move in. Nice storm on the roaches. But the Fuggles do connect, and yeah, the ultras they collapse in. Brutal Fuggles. The storms are solid. His template go down. Down to 2 Archons. Banelings, they crash into a mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. And Quantel just doesn't really have much left. Again, he tried to rush into carry after the rough starts, after the rough mid-game. It's just so brutal losing all this High Templar early on. And momentum is very much a thing here in StarCraft, even in StarCraft Evolution as well. Can't afford those losses early on. Not like this. Ultra's pushing in towards a 4th. And there's no saving this here. There's no saving this. The carriers are revealed. Spire gets thrown down. It is going to be a later Spire here for Rumith. Thankfully, there's no upgrade here. There's no interceptor upgrade on those carriers. There's no capacity upgrade, so not many interceptors. And with that Rumith, he will break the 4th and break the 3rd. And 3rd base is going to go down. From here, can push into the natural. Again, it takes a while for the carriers to really kind of find their stride without those upgrades. So they just tickle the ultras, papi. They tickle. How many times on the High Temple? Oh no! Yeah, there's no storm. Archon should be going down. There we go, does fall. And the Spires are about to finish. And again, even though these carriers are getting free damage, it doesn't matter. GG gets called, and Rumith will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Rumith, he does claim the series. Again, a strong showing here by Rumith. Again, Quantel, he just had a really rough early to mid-game here. If you recall, winding it back, he was building up towards an earlier storm timing. He pushed out, he got caught out completely with his pants down. Lost all the High Templar, lost his Dragoons, lost momentum, and he lost his fourth base at the same time, losing his economy and losing his army as well in one fell swoop. From there, he fell behind. He tried to stabilize by rushing into carrier, and as we mentioned, if Rumith was passive, then Quantel could have stabilized, but Rumith wasn't passive, right? He was so quick to max and so quick to push. GG, well played. With that, we have 1 series remaining here tonight. We're going to be getting into a TVP between TaeJa and Prome. Oh boy. Here we go. Again, TaeJa, he did make his return to StarCraft a month ago at this point. I think it's been like a month. And it's been amazing to see him competing in StarCraft Evolution again. He's been looking quite informed, looking quite solid. But we'll see how he compares to Prome. Prome, who is, of course, a regular in StarCraft Evolution, is a multi-time Code A champion, is going to be quite a challenge. Oh boy. Here we go. We're getting into game number 1. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Magnatha, we do have our South Korean Protoss player. It's going to be Prome for among us 2 people. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. It is TaeJa, the Brood War Terran. Sorry, the SE2 Terran even. Here we go. And again, TaeJa was looking very impressive when we were able to feature him previously in said show matches in StarCraft Evolution. So great to see him once again after quite a long hiatus. It's been a couple of years. Been a couple of years since TaeJa has been active. So great to see him once again. And he's looking quite strong. He's been looking quite informed. Very informed here. But again, Prome is going to be quite a challenge to overcome. Now we have to be settling in. So far, Gate Expand out of Prome. And TaeJa going for his own Rax Expand. Single Gas Opener, Economic Start out of TaeJa. we go. Now again, Prome, he does compete in some StarCraft 2 tournaments, that is true, even showing up for our Tuning Cups as well, but for the most part, he's a dedicated StarCraft Evolution player. Like, that's where he does devote and dedicate a lot of his time, a lot of his efforts. I would say that Prome is, at this point, would I rate Prome above Rebellion? Oh. I don't think I can yet, but that might also be because I just haven't seen enough of them in recent times. Like, especially without Kung Fu Cup being a regular tournament anymore, now there are just less events in StarCraft Evolution. I know that King of the Hills have also been less frequent in recent times as well. So there's just been kind of less eyes on all of these players. But he's up there. I think I would say Prome is like maybe top 5, top 4 Protoss. For now though, we're settling in. Again, economic opener out of TaeJa. We have another gateway on the way here from Prome. So now we have that Forge follow-up as well, working towards earlier upgrades. Oh, catching out the first Marine. Nice pickup. Takes that Marine, takes that one, takes out the other, but will lose a Dragoon in the process. And Loken is brutal, and Cyclone will defend. In the end, I would say this is, would I say a better trade? Did lose 2 SCVs though. 2 SCVs, the Marines as well. Cyclone does hold. Behind this, we're going to be going for a Citadel opener. Let's go. Again, we saw, I want to say that Classic was very fond of this when he was competing, going for the early Forge, going for the early Citadel, going for early Charge, or Zealot Legs, I should say. So fast Zealot Legs here out of Prome. Nice to see some variety, for sure. As we've been seeing a lot of either Stargate or river-based openers. So I do appreciate it. Likewise, we have a more standard 3-1-1 setup here. I say that really late starport. So late starport out of TaeJa. A very heavy commitment here into bio and into earlier stim. So a much more aggressive build, or aggressive follow-up. Based on how late the starport is, this could turn into a 2-base all-in. TaeJa may decide to pull the boys. I don't really like the idea of committing to an all-in on Maganatha just because of how large the map is, but it's going to be available here as an option for TaeJa. So we'll see if he does pull. Meanwhile, Dragoons, they do bully the Marines. They take down the initial depot. And TaeJa actually going to be waiting and taking into Marauders. Okay. Gus Shell on the way, building up his bio, stuck on 2 bases. Behind this, we do see Prome does take a third. Third is on the way. Templar Archives working towards Storm. Taking further up. Yeah, so far Prome just enjoying map control, having a lot of freedom, looking very comfortable. And we're still waiting for the move out. We're still waiting for when TaeJa does break out. Later eBay here out of TaeJa, that's what I will say. Bit of a later eBay. Typically we do hit with +1, but it's going to be much later +1 here from TaeJa. Dust him in. Gets a Dragoon, gets 1, gets 2, not bad. Again, Concussive Shell coming into play, catching out a lot of Dragoons. And very nice control. Very nice drop play as well. As TaeJa does break out, catching another Dragoon. And nice target firing. Getting another 2. TaeJa does now claim a third. So he's not going for the all-in, he does not pull the boys. I do think there would have been an opportunity here to just have committed across the map, but regardless, let's get another Dragoon. Reinforcers do move in though. It's gonna be cleaned up. I say that tank does survive though. Yeah, tank does punish. 9 probe kills. TaeJa with a very strong breakout. Dropping in towards the main. Pulls back the main army. TaeJa setting up for a split push. Setting up. Brutal tank shots. Yeah, he does hold his own, takes down the tank. Nice cleanup at the same time, dropping to the main. Chrome out of position. And again, you can see just how immobile the brutal army is. Remember, there's no recall. There's no recall, there's no warp in. Cells, they do trickle in. And this drop leg can just be brutal. Oh. Does get away, does pull out. And again, a really nice breakout here from TaeJa. The aggression does subside, and TaeJa's going to be forced back. He's expanding, getting a third base, but he traded really nicely. He was able to get probe kills. Remember, he got 9 workers outside of the third. Able to catch a lot of Dragoons, and take momentum away from probe. So very nicely done. This is also why typically in Brood War, or at least in StarCraft Evolution, we do see a lot more reliance on static defense, just because trying to react and respond to drop play is much more difficult here in SE Evo from the Brood War side of things. Here we go. TaeJa once again being active. Does find the 4th, and he should shut it down. Yeah, Prime out of position. The base is going to be denied. Likewise, match is going off. Ooh, brutal connections. Shuts out the Zealots. Storm coming in. The Storm mainly does zone. Mainly zones away. Mine shot. Mine shot goes off, and Prome is falling behind. He does need to be up an expansion compared to the Terrans, so being stuck on 3 bases is it doesn't bode well. Doesn't bode well here for Prome. Now working towards the Bay, working towards Reavers, getting into some kind of splash damage outside of just Storm. But Prome is falling further behind. Again, he has no economy. Or it's limited compared to his opponents. Does get on top of the 4th base. That's a kill, not a cancel. Okay. We're going for the base trade. Let's go. This is probably the best chance here for Prome, is to commit to said base trade. Prism is still very low. Doesn't want to waste those storms. Okay, was being depowered. It's going to be all or nothing, pushing in towards the main. Oh. So extend with some of those Zealots. We need those storms. Oh, the Prism goes down. Storm does zone. But a brutal loss there for Prome. Gets into the mineral line. I want to say he should have 3 High Templar across the map though. And +3 finishing. Prome turned around for a moment there. He does not push into the main. He has to. Again, where are the storms? EMP goes up. Storm does not connect. That's another EMP. So yeah, the storms are not good enough. Argon force some more. TaeJa, he's holding. Oh my god. A much better storm though. You can see the army completely get annihilated by the storms. That's what we needed. At the same time, TaeJa has control of the main. We have Prome expanding bottom left. Does get a ninja base. Fully operational. Pulls the boys away. You want TaeJa going for the Great Migration. TaeJa still has the larger main army. And Prome, he needs to race back. He needs to start engaging with the army as well. He gets spotted. Ay. Yeah, Prome turns around. He's racing back. TaeJa has no economy, so the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for Prome. On top of that, 0 ghosts. Uh-oh. All the ghosts went down. No EMPs. Also really crucial here as well. No EMPs from TaeJa. One good storm and Prome can win the fight. One good storm back. Speaking of storms coming in. It's going to be decent storms. Had Templar go down. Oh, he stands in it though. Yeah, he does stand in the storms. Mine just going up. TaeJa plummets in supply. But last Prome, he did lose 2 High Templar. I think he's down to 1. Speaking of the High Templars exposed, he has to get out of here. No! The High Templar gets caught out. Massive catch from TaeJa. Does catch a Templar. Prome expanding. Getting another base. Production's getting back online. Prome is going to have 3 Nexi. Yeah, and he's still overwhelming. Yeah, at this point, he's done it. This is the army. 3 Marauders. 3 Marauders, 1 Marine. Prome, he's done it, bat. I say that. There is still some production, though. True. There's still some production. There's still 3 Marauders. Oh, Prome pulls away. Does pull away. His economy is getting back up and running, getting to more charge lots. I don't think he's seen top right yet, but he's heading in that direction. And he will find it. He does line mining. And so he's going to be chased down. Oh, TaeJa gets found. Losing a Marauder. Down to 2. Down to 1. 1 Marauder left. Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be all that he had left. GG gets called, and Prome takes the lead in the series. Takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Prome, he does take a lead again. A very intense game here. TaeJa had a really strong start, of course, with TaeJa breaking out from his contain, punishing across the map, out trading Prome as well. Prome was in a rough position. The best chance for Prome was the base trade. That was the best chance. That was the best opportunity. He was able to pull off that base trade, able to save his workers, get a ninja base up and running, preserve his economy. More importantly, land some brutal storms. Like, the storms were crucial there in the base trade, and Prome, he ran away with it. GG. DG, well played. And with that, Prome, he does take a lead in the series, and the pressure is now on TaeJa. The pressure is on. So getting into game number 2. TaeJa seemed ahead in the beginning of the base trade. He was able to commence the base trade faster, that is true, and he had a standing army in the main. But remember, he took a massive storm to the face when it came to the main base defense. Like, his main army crumbled. Here we go. Took all the storms to the face. Here we go, we're getting into game 2. We're going to be loading into Vermeer. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Pink Protoss, it is Prome. And in the bottom right hand corner, we have the SE2 Terran player, the yellow Terran from South Korea, it is TaeJa. Here we go. As we are going to be calming down, we do have our close spawns here on Vermeer. Bearing in mind, this is a 4-player spawn map, and we have spawned in right next to each other. Let's go. Let's go. With that, of course, does reduce the time it takes to get across the map. The rush distance by ground is going to be that much shorter here on Vermeer, as we have our horizontal spawns. Prome opening up gate expands. Likewise, we do see TaeJa opening up CC first. So economic opener here out of TaeJa. Does open up with the fastest CC. And it's time to 3 racks. As again, especially when it comes to close spawns here on Vermeer, this is gonna hit so hard. It's gonna hit like a truck. As you mentioned, I think someone spoke up earlier regarding ZaRDieNT and be like, "Oh, he's still going for it." It's like I'm pretty sure like the 3x stim timing is still very viable in StarCraft Evolution. You can try to nerf it into the ground, but it'll still stand up. Like it'll. There's no stopping it, Pappy. Let's go. SCV Scout does confirm the location of Chrome. Does confirm. Zoraxes are finishing. For those that are curious that what we're talking about, and for those that are maybe a little bit newer to watching StarCraft Evolution, there is a build that has been plaguing the meta for the past 7 months at this point, and that is the 3-rack stim timing here from the side of Brood War Terran. Oh, sorry, I did it again. I say that this is SE2 Terran. My mistake. I think this happened last time as well. Where I see 3 racks, I'm just assuming it's Brutal Terran. This is a little bit different here. Now, if you've been watching Bjorn, he has been going for these 3 racks builds. This is actually quite old school. If you were around during the Site Delta map pool in StarCraft 2, 3 rack stim was a viable build. If you recall, this was back when Colossus-based openers were a little bit more common because of this as well. This is back in 2022. So Tech Labs are on the way, and this is an SE2 3x sim instead. Again, this is a build that has been phased out of StarCraft 2 quite some time ago. Was phased out. This was mainly prevalent during the meta of Stargate openers and Phoenix-based openers. Phoenix Colossus. Basically, during the Phoenix Colossus meta, this is one of the ways where you could punish that and knock it down. As is going to be a Reaver-based opener out of Chrome. Ooh, this is a concussive shell variation. And we're getting up to 4 racks? Okay. TaeJa is doing his own spin on this. You have my attention. Going up to 4 axes instead, going into concussive shell. I mean, as you saw last game, concussive shell marauders, they can excel quite hard here. Can excel. And he's pushing. He's already moving out. As TaeJa's getting ready for his push, we do see the Reaver drop coming in. I say Reaver drop. I believe that's a initial Dragoon drop, if I'm not mistaken. As the boys are being pulled. Yeah, there's one Reaver. Oof. Shot goes off, takes out 2 SCVs. So far some decent connections, but the main army does get across the map. Boys being pulled away, no safety shield batteries. And the fence is back at home, they're lacking. TaeJa going in for the kill. And he will kill the natural. Yeah, there's no saving this. The natural is going to go down. The stim is almost done. Reaver coming in. Shot goes off. Nice connection. It does weaken up those marauders. But the boys are being pulled and every probe is going down. Nice target firing here on the Reavers. Nice shot here on the Bio. Well, he doesn't. He breaks through. There's no Reavers left. There's no Scarab shots. Dragoons are going down. And even though TaeJa doesn't straight up kill him, he's ahead. Like TaeJa, he's up in workers. He's up in bases. Prome, he's building a backup natural towards the top side. At the 3rd location. So he does have a base on the way. He's double expanding. But Prome is in a rough position. Now he has come back from some really from rough positions in the past, as we saw last game in game 1. True, he was able to recover. But TaeJa does find the expansion, does find the Nexus. TaeJa's moving out. Does spot the Reaver. And he's making a beeline here for the third. Okay, he doesn't have to push into the natural. He's already ahead. He just wants that Nexus. Oh, never mind. He may try to dive on the Reaver here. He may even try to bait out the army. Yeah, he stims in, baits out the army. Uh-oh. He does stim forward. Yeah, just diving here on the Dragoons. Very nice catch. TaeJa baiting him out. Oh my god. Does stack up the army. He does stack up. Este TaeJa. And from here, just catching out the Dragoons. It's every Dragoon falling. And Prome is just being pulled apart. He's just being pulled apart here once again. They're forced to pull the boys. You see TaeJa dive under the shuttle. And the base has been broken. Again, if TaeJa was more passive, then Prome could have recovered and could have gotten away with it. TaeJa very much so in his face. He's in the face. The shuttle's taking a lot of hits. No, the shuttle's gonna go down. That was the one thing keeping Prome in this game. GG gets called, and TaeJa ties up the series 1-1. We are going to game number 3. Let's go. Here we go. We're getting into game 3. And we'll see how this story ends. Again, a hyper-aggressive build out of TaeJa. Prome, he had no idea. Prome, he didn't scout. He didn't realize what was happening. It was a 4x stim timing and even hit before stim. A really early push, a Björn-esque push actually, as stim finished after the natural had been broken. And again, we saw that Prome was caught with his pants down. The pants were down. Was exposed. And here we go. We're getting into that ace match.
Game resumed.
Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. It is Prome for SE2 people. Among SE2 people. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. It is TaeJa. Go. As this time TaeJa is playing Brood War Terran. I won't make that same mistake again. Likewise, Prome rocking the SE2 Protoss. And once again, we have horizontal spawns. Now, we were, if you recall, we were discussing about the earlier stim timing, the earlier 3-racks from TaeJa in game number 2. I will say that is also going to be viable here as well. Is going to be a double gas opener though. Okay, so TaeJa, he will not go CC first. He's going for a double gas instead. With this, he has access to earlier tech, to a faster factory as well. We'll see where TaeJa takes us from here. I don't think I've seen too much of TaeJa's mech, but I want to say that he did. Yeah, he did embrace mech against Shin in that TVZ. We'll see. As now Nexus first out of Prome. Sorry, I say Nexus first. Gate expand, sorry. Gate expand into Cybercore. Meanwhile with the double gas opener, yep, going for the faster factory. On one base. And going for a later CC. With this, we can go for the earlier machine shop and go for ion thrusters, go for spider mines. Yep, there it is, double factory. Double factory opener here out of TaeJa. Does open up Vulture. And again, this is one of the more common, one of the more meta ways to open up into mech. It's going to be quite aggressive, quite committed. Yeah, machine shops are on the way. With this, we can rush into ion thrusters and spider mines. Rush into both. Again, Björn's been quite fond of this opener as well.
Add-on complete.
As Spider-Mans are being researched, and vulture production has begun. Racing his mech. Currently, we do see Prome is in the dark. He's just now going for his own probe scouts. Going for a Robo opener himself. Okay. Let's open up Robo. He does find TaeJa. TaeJa coming in from behind, catching out the initial stalker. Oh, at least trying to. The vulture does go down. Yeah, it does lose 2 vultures. Not a bad trade here from Prome, but does he get back home? Looks like he will. Looks like he does. Okay, does pull away in time. CC's on the way here for TaeJa. Building up more vultures, getting into ion thrusters. And with the help of spider mines, he can try to break that natural. Oh, as Prome setting up for a third. Getting a safety immortal, but maybe being a little bit too greedy here. Nice cleanup. Does lay the third base. Vultures being zoned away. As they slip into the bases, the wall is open. Yeah, the wall is wide open. They bust into the mineral lines. Spider-Man's here covering the ramp, covering the entrance. Probe's going to be going down. Oh, brutal connections. And this is getting out of hand. It's already getting out of hand here. 7 probe kills. Thankfully, nothing more than that. Getting up to 8. Spider-Man did connect, but the Immortal survived. The Stalkers as well. There's a third. TaeJa will spawn it, but he can't quite do anything about it. Let's pull away. From here we can see TaeJa switching into a more slower form of mech. We have siege mode on the way, we have more tanks amassing, safety Goliath, a third factory. Building a bit into a greater mech composition. At least Prome is able to expand, able to try to slow things down a little bit. Games +1, building up more immortals. He's getting there. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have any momentum to move out on the map. He has no charge, he has no blink. And that is pushing though. Does break out. As he moves out, vultures they move in, they can 2-shot probes. And the boys are being pulled. Another 4 probes going down. Does cause a distraction. Tanks are still amassing. I don't really see Prome breaking this position, but he can contain at least. Oh. Gets a vulture. Does get a vulture. From here again, just containing TaeJa. TaeJa's being contained. Prome now on 3 bases. Can think about a 4th. Still has to respect the tanks. And again, for the time being, it's just all about containing, all about delaying the third base of TaeJa for as long as possible. As he does not shut down those vultures, they somehow slip away. Lose the past. Yeah, Prime, he reacts with his entire army. He's racing back home. Now getting that 4th. Twilight Council finally on the way as well. He can work towards charge. And even blink. There it is. It's going to be charge first. Again, TaeJa, he's fully aware. As Prime is working towards his anti-mech army. Just very gateway heavy, into Immortals, ideally into Archons as well. As TaeJa, he's now going to be expanding. Some awkward SimCity though. Hopefully he does realize in time that's going to be 4 tanks stuck in the main. Uh-oh. Stuck in the main base. We'll have to reposition some of those factories. Hopefully, again, he does notice. There we go. And just kills the depot. It's fine. Kills the depot, breaks out. Feels brutal depots, man. They can't lower. Aye. As TaeJa's gonna be supply blocked. Where's Probe? I'm loving the wall of cannons here. We'll zone away those vultures. So looking for another way in. We get into the 3rd. Probes are going down. Probe, he ignores this. He's just gonna keep pushing. I don't think he can push into the siege line. Yeah, the Immortals are gonna be going down. Cells do get on top of the tanks though. That's a lot of Immortals. That's what, 6? Yeah, 6 Immortals moving in. Breaks through the first line of defense, and tanks are falling one after. Jeez, the Immortals are just so tanky. They tank so many shots. They take over the 3rd. That's still a very clutch fight. They cannot push into the siege line. Okay, TaeJa, he holds. TaeJa is holding on. Still a brutal trade. More Zealot reinforcements on the way. And Prime, he was close. He was close to breaking TaeJa. Barely not enough. I love that the probe is cleaning up the mines. Let's go. The 1 hero probe. More Archons are morphing in. You see Prime just refining his army. Jesus, we spoke earlier, he had 6 Immortals. Now he's building up to what, 8, 9? He's got 2 more robots on the way. Just mass robot, mass Immortal. Aye. Unfortunately, there's just not much air support here for the mech army. When it comes to StarCraft 2, what would stop this from really occurring is, of course, for a mech army to refine itself with, I would say, Liberator support, with Liberas. With Liberators to kind of secure this army and secure this composition. But that's not really available here to TaeJa. I guess technically you can try to work and take up into BCs, but that's a ways away. As boys are being pre-pulled. As I'll say, dive in. The boys, they don't really tank too much. They try to hold the line. Zealots, they don't quite make it through. Okay. How many Immortals are? And never mind, who needs Zealots? Immortals, they break through that siege line. Getting on top of the last line of defense. There's what, 4 tanks left. Down to 2. Yeah, 2 tanks remaining. No high ground vision, but the 3rd base has been broken. 23 SCV kills. And TaeJa, he has nothing left. Behind this, he barely has an economy. He barely has an army. He can't afford to switch into something like BCs. That's not going to happen. He's just being shut down. Again, the one thing keeping TaeJa alive this game is the lack of high ground vision. Oh, a shuttle would be nice. Or a prism, I should say. Euphrobius, you're on mine duty today. Yes. Pretty much. Hey, heal's popping off though. It was popping up. Scans across the map, they spot other bases. As Chrome is mass expanding, Zalsei dive in once again, forcing friendly fire. Still no high ground vision, so these tanks, they're actually trading quite well. They're getting a lot of shots off. But again, that's 10 immortals, and GG gets called. There's no expanding. He's just contained on 2 bases, and Prome, he will take the series 2-1, knocking TaeJa out of the SEL Masters. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Prome. He will claim the series. Again, it was a really rough first opponent here for TaeJa. Prome is very well versed. As I mentioned before, he is one of the top Protoss players in StarCraft Evolution. TaeJa, he was able to hold his own, but here in this game, again, just he lost a little momentum early on. He was contained on 2 bases. He had a hard time expanding and claiming a 3rd base, and again, you can see some of the weak points here of a mech-based army. He was trying to get into mass tank, trying to get into vultures as well for support, but he was on a very low vulture counts. He wasn't quite able to secure his bases. We can see how open that area is outside of the natural and outside of the 3rd, and we saw Prome overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. A solid performance there out of Prome. Does claim it. Does claim the series. GG, well played. And my condolences to TaeJa as he is knocked out of the SEL Masters, but I'm sure we'll be seeing more of him in the future. Again, he did compete in the most recent SEL King of the Hill. I'm sure he'll be a part of the next SEL or StarCraft Evolution League main events as well. I'm sure we'll be a part of it. But GG, well played. With that, Prome does take the series, and that is going to be us wrapping up with day 1 of the broadcast. Again, this is a 2-day event. We just wrapped up with day 1. Day 2 is going to be even longer. Day 2 is going to be like 4.5 to 5 hours. It's going to be intense. It'll be tomorrow. Will be tomorrow instead. So do look forward to it. Again, do look forward to it. We'll get there. So GG, well played. When it comes to the bracket, we'll try to construct a spreadsheet in the bracket as well for the rest of the matches. And we'll be back tomorrow with some more StarCraft Evolution League as well. I know that when it comes to some more SEL content, as we mentioned before, there was an amendment to the PTR patch, but that was after this tournament. So we're going to be going over that during the podcast after we cover these tournaments, after we cover the SEL Masters number 4. Next week is going to be the SEL Last Chance qualifiers. That's going to be Last Chance qualifier number 1 and number 2. And there's also going to be the SEL Code A, and that's going to be in a couple weeks as well. So there's still a lot more StarCraft Evolution on the horizon. That's all leading into the championships, right? We have the SEL championships. That's going to be in the month of August. It's going to be an intense month of StarCraft Evolution. There's going to be an intense group stage, and yeah, a lot to get into. So do look forward to it. And we'll be going over the patch notes next week during the podcast. That'll be the plan. That will be the plan. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, our next broadcast is going to be in less than 24 hours. That's going to be SEL Masters number 4, day 2. You can actually have a look here. Bam. On our schedule. As you can see here, we just wrapped up with our morning broadcast, and tomorrow we're going to be live with the 2nd day of StarCraft Evolution. Meanwhile, the weekend is just covered in Fusion Esports League. Again, we had a massive $8,000 offline event prize pool tournament announced for the Polish scene in Krakow. That is going to be at the end of the month. That's going to be after Esports World Cup. But here we have the Polish Championship over the weekend. So we do have the best of the best players in Poland facing off in StarCraft 2, and we have the Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday as well. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. It's going to be an intense weekend, as always. Intense weekend of StarCraft, puppy. Aye. All the StarCraft. Haven't seen anything from TaeJa in forever. Yes, TaeJa has been retired for a couple of years, but recently came back. He recently came back to StarCraft Evolution, so great to see more of TaeJa as of late. Great to see. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. Here for the time being. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in, and stick around as... Do we decide to ladder today? Oh god, I just haven't had time. Likewise, I'm a little bit fatigued as well. But you know what? we might go live with a short cheeky ladder session before making a bunch of thumbnails. So that'll be the plan. That'll be the plan. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat to support us and to support the scene, to support StarCraft, as of course all that money goes towards our tournaments. Likewise, exclamation mark SC Evo. If you want to support StarCraft Evolution, you can do so via the Team Caprulu Patreon, as the Patreon is available, and you can support the production and of course the funding and the evolution of StarCraft Evolution. GG, well played. Too many tournaments, laddering in danger. Yeah, I haven't laddered in 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks. For now, though, we're going to be heading off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time.